यहाँ पे मेरा वीडियो वो जो है सबको दिख रहा है वही है. Okay. Friends, am I audible and visible? Can you please confirm?
मुझे क्यों कंफर्म करा रहे हो? अभी यहाँ पे जाइए, यहाँ पे जाइए, ऑडियो क्लिक करिए. हेलो, ये ऑडियो कर दीजिए. नहीं तो यहाँ पे रिटर्न साउंड आएगा.
Alright, thank you जी.
चालू करें मैंने की.
हाँ जी, thank you.
9 बजे तक है ना आपका?
9 बजे तक.
तो आप मुझे, मेरा नंबर है ना आपके पास?
हाँ है ना.
तो आप मुझे फोन करिए, मैं ऊपर हूँ. आप बोलेंगे मैं जाऊँगा.
Thank you जी. So good evening everyone. I am CA Amish Thakkar from Mumbai. I welcome each one of you, and we are having 72 participants today here. So it's wonderful to see you all on a Monday evening. After a very hectic schedule, you have managed to join in, so that's commendable. And with that note, my voice is echoing. Is that happening with everybody? Okay, so rest of you are able to hear me clearly. Great. So friends, let us kickstart this session. Now I am sharing my screen, so please confirm if you can see my presentation as well. Okay, excellent. So I am your mentor, coach, guide, friend, colleague, whatever you may want to call it, for today and for the next 2 days. So I'll try my best to induct you into this very fascinating and upcoming domain, forensic investigation. And before I start, since it's a online version, I'm sure you will have a lot of questions while we are discussing, and I have that chat window open in front of me. So at any given point in time, if you feel that you need some clarity, you need some understanding, please do not hesitate to write in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay, I will start with a very slow discussion points. We will go very slow. We will develop the conceptual understanding gradually so that you feel comfortable getting yourself inducted into this domain. So I am Amish Thakkar from Mumbai, and I'm a practicing chartered accountant. So Meenu is saying that my voice is low. Is it the case with everyone? Because I see that my volume is at maximum. So Meenal, can you please check at your end? Yeah. So those who are facing it low, please increase your volume at your level, because here I am in a conference room with the basic setup already done. So those who are not able to listen can please check at your end, because the mic is just in front of me and everything is properly tested. Hi Sagar, nice to see you here as well. Nice to know that some of the participants have already attended my other sessions. How many of you have already attended any of my earlier sessions? How many of you know me already? If you can just quickly drop in a message so I know. We have Sagar here, Gyaneshwar, Priya Batra, okay. Okay, Gyaneshwar again. Surat batch, okay, Hyderabad. That's wonderful. So nice to meet with all of you again or here on the online platform. And let us start, isn't it? And then we will take it up as we progress. Okay, okay. So friends, I'm sure that before joining in this course, you have had something in your mind that as to why do I need to have this course? Why do I need to seek this qualification? So you should know what is in store for you. Okay, if you're not sure and you have thought, okay, let me do the course and then explore the possibilities, then this initial 10 minutes is going to give you the direction. It will give you a visibility in terms of how, as a chartered accountant, one can develop a career out of it, and why this course is in so much demand, why this domain is gaining a lot of popularity. Okay, so here is some content from the report which is published by ACFE, which is Association of Certified Fraud Examiner. So if you see, just 1 second. If you see, ACFE is the most credible organization based out of US. The name of the organization is Association of Certified Fraud Examiner. They publish one report where they analyze the real fraud instances which are reported to them. If you see here, these are 2,110. Okay, Priya madam, we have total 80 participants, noted. So you see here that this report analyzes 2,110 cases reported across 133 countries. And if you look at the magnitude of the loss is upwards of $3.6 billion. And if you see here, on an average, the loss per case is $17,83,000. Okay, or $1.78 million is the average loss per case. Isn't it big? And if you see the analysis over here, 5% of the revenue is lost to the fraud every year. This is very scary, my friends. We are not talking about 5% of the EBITDA, 5% of some lower benchmark like PAT or PBT. It is revenue, which is huge. Okay. That itself speaks about the magnitude of the money stolen by people in an organization. And that itself opens up the market for forensic investigation professionals. Okay. So if somebody says, why do I need to do this course? Then here is a kind of rationale. This is a market size for the fraud. And more the frauds, more the investigations are carried out by the organizations. If I take you to the next slide, now for the time being, I'm not reading your chats because we are not good at multitasking. At appropriate point in time, I will take a pause and I will ask you for a questions so that you can concentrate on the discussion and not while typing, you will miss out on any conversation. Now, what do you see here is that a typical fraud case causes $8,300 a loss per month. Again, I am referring to focusing on the money. Okay, the amount part of it. Okay. Now, if you see the detection mechanism, more than half of all the tips came from the employees, which is your internal whistleblowing. Okay. Remaining comes from email, some reporting from the websites, right? These are the whistleblower mechanism for detecting the frauds. But not all of them are effective, and therefore number of frauds today remains unreported, and 5% amount comes from the reporting. Okay, we have such a big market outside where the frauds are not even getting reported through this detection mechanism. So if we add to that also, It's a big loss that we are talking about, which organizations are exposed to. Then if you look at this is going to be of interest to us. It says that nearly half of all occupational frauds comes from these four departments: operations, accounting, senior management, and sales. And fortunately, friends, as a chartered accountant, we have a good understanding of the back-end operations. We are experts in accounting and we understand the sales process, which no other professional can understand the way we chartered accountants understand. So if you see, about 45% of the frauds of the total market happens in this domain where we have our competency. Therefore, we are much sought after professionals in the industry to support management in detecting the fraud or preventing the fraud or managing the fraud risk. Today, fraud risk management has become inevitable for every banking financial services domain. So as every other company who is into manufacturing, logistic, e-commerce, they are also looking for avenues where they can bring down their fraud risk. And that is where, friends, we can partner with them, we can help them, we can render consultation service, even we can identify the frauds that have happened already, right? So these are some of the avenues available for you after you complete this 7 days course. By the way, let me also give you the brief outline about the course. You have a 7-day course, which is going to, sorry, not 7 days. You have 3 plus 3, 6 plus 2, 9 plus 1. I think 10 days. Total, you have got 10 days or 11 days. Yeah, 11 days, right? So in these 11 days, the first 3 days, you are going to learn, and I am going to take you through this. First 3 days, you are going to learn the fundamentals of this course, the basic concepts, the methods, the theories, and we'll do some hands-on case study also. Next 3 days, you are going to learn tools like data analytics tools, like Excel and CAD tools. Then next 3 days, you are going to learn further tools on digital forensics. You will learn email, you will learn forensics, mobile forensics, email forensics, disk imagining, mobile forensics, extracting evidences from digital media, so on and so forth. And then you will have 2 days, I think, if I'm not wrong, 2 days for your session on relevant acts and regulations, where you will learn the regulatory framework within India, regulatory framework outside India, as well as a forensic accounting and investigation standards, which our institute has rolled out, which are mandatory for any forensic investigation engagement that we are going to render as a chartered accountant. So this is the outline of your course. So after 7 days, friends, you will get a very broad level understanding about this entire domain and the traits, professional as well as personal, that you need to develop to be able to become a successful investigator. Okay. So this is how your 11 days are going to be, and you will have 5 to 9 session every day. Okay. Now, after understanding what is in store for you, let us come to the topic. But before I go there, if you have any questions, do let me know. So far, whatever we have discussed, do you have any questions? Right now, Geeta, we have no WhatsApp group. Jagdeep, there is no way you can mark your attendance. So whenever you log in through your digital learning hub, your attendance is marked, and when you exit, based on the time you have spent. So say, for example, you have logged in today and you have logged out immediately at say 5:30 or 6, then your attendance won't be marked. Okay. So your attendance will be taken care of automatically from the time you log in and from the time you log out. Okay. Will it be compulsory to attend? Priyesh, I have no idea about that, frankly. You can check with the ICI officials. I can give you their email ID, which is what I'm mentioning in the chat box. Any question, you can write to this email ID. Please note down this email ID. Yeah. Yes, all of you have to log in from your learning portal for your attendance to be captured. Okay. If you directly join using your what do you call the meeting ID or some other way, your attendance may not be marked. So you have to be very, very careful. Okay. Any course related questions that you will have, you need to ask to that email ID, because I, as a faculty, may not be able to give you the right guidance around that, because I may not be updated on the way the attendance and other stuff is monitored. PPTs will be shared with you. We will also share a lot of other content as well with you. This email ID, you need to remember that it is not going to spam. Institute will also share some material with you through this email ID. Yes, Harish ji has mentioned that you have to log in to DLH. I don't think your session will expire automatically. It will remain once you log in. Or if it expires for some reason, your internet is weak or some reason, you have to re-log in from DLH only. Vinay ji, it is not advisable that you attend the session through mobile, because you need a larger screen. We are sharing data, we are sharing, like today, tomorrow, at least it's okay because it's a conceptual. But when it comes to doing hands-on, like your fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and ninth day will be hands-on. You will be working on Excel, you will be working on idea. That time you cannot log in from mobile. What is next? Can you provide a mobile number? I have no mobile number, Venkata. In DLH, session expires after 5 minutes. So please check this. If this issue continues where on DLH your session is expiring, then for the timing today, you log in with the email ID link that you have got. I will then take it up with the ICI officials for tomorrow and we will sort it out. If you are going to log in from the web portal, which web portal are you referring to, Hitesh? If you are logging in from mail received Zoom link. So when you are logging in from that email ID, Gyaneshwar, is it asking you for your name, membership number, or some sort of credentials so that they can identify your attendance? If you guys wish to speak, you can please raise your hands. So I will allow you to speak as well. Because I see a lot of questions around logging in. Raghavi, you can speak.
Sir, can I explain it, sir? Since everyone is asking this, sir,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
please explain.
yeah, they have to just go to Google and put digital e-learning in it, and then click the first link from ICAI. It will show you this login. Use your credentials. The credentials will be your membership number at ica.org, and you have to put your password. go to My Products. The forensic, this FAFED course that you have selected will be there, and you have to click the launch button, and you have to go to the left side of your pan, go down. The day one interaction will be there. Click there. Your Zoom link interaction will be there. Click connect to your Zoom, and the learning will be visible from then. Same, the link will also be shared in your mail also. In case if you are unable to log in using this web portal, for time being, you can log in through Zoom, but you have to log in through DLH for marking this attendance. Once the Zoom is connected and you are able to see the faculty, and you are able to hear them, your DLH portal will automatically expires. It will go out. It will log out. You need not to again and again log in for hearing this. Your Zoom alone is enough for hearing this. Once you are logged in through DLH portal, and once you are able to access your seminar through Zoom, it is enough. There is no need to again and again log in the DHL portal for marking attendance. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for guiding everybody. I really appreciate, because literally I had no idea about all this. I being the faculty. Thank you, Raghavi. Uh, I hope others have got the clarity as to what is to be done now. So those who wish to quickly follow the step, we can do that so that your attendance can be marked. Yeah, you can exit from here and just re-log in by following the process. We'll wait for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, to just ensure that your attendance is also marked. And by the way, since the voice chats are enabled for all of you, if you raise your hands, I will allow you to speak. So in case if you have some discussion points, or if you want to kind of discuss something rather than typing in the chat window, feel free to raise your hand and I'll allow you to speak. Yes, Gyaneshwar, you can speak. Raghavi, is it possible for you to share your screen if I elevate you, if you can show everybody what is to be done? Are you comfortable with that? So that everybody will follow the steps that you are doing? Okay, then I am going to promote you. Just allow me a minute. I've sent you an invite to get promoted as a panelist. Please accept that. Gyaneshwar, in the meanwhile, would you like to say anything? You have raised your hand. Raghavi, can you share your screen? Please do it slowly so everybody can understand. Just go very slow, step by step. So please type google.com and search for Digital Learning Hub. Just hold on, Rajvi, for a minute. Others, please have a look at her screen. You have to find Digital Learning Hub. Just 1 second, Rajvi. Let everybody see. Sorry, am I pronouncing your name correctly? It is Raghavi or Rajvi? I don't know.
Sir, correct only, sir. Correct. You are
Okay,
pronouncing right.
okay. Now, can you please proceed, Rajvi?
Yes, sir. Sir, we have to go to this first link,
Okay,
ICAI learning. The ID is website address is learning.icai.org. If they find it difficult to type it, you can go to Google and you can just type ICAI Digital Learning Hub. The first link will be our ICAI's link. Then we have to go to
okay.
this login button. And if once it is login, it will ask you the credentials. I'm just logging in with mine.
Can you copy the link and put it in the chat because some participants are asking for it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Will do, sir.
Thank you. I'm asking so much from you at the
Sir,
beginning
no
of the
problem,
course.
sir. No problem, sir. Sir, since I'm from a remote town in Tamil Nadu, I am the
Okay,
only source of accessible to all this material will be only through this digital learning hub, sir. We don't have more of CPE sessions over here, so our will be like this only, sir. So I had
okay.
this opportunity of
Thank
doing this.
you. Okay.
So now
So,
I'm logging in, sir. Is my screen visible, sir?
yes. So
Okay.
please click on the link shared by Rajvi on the chat window and then follow what she is doing. You have to put your credentials starting with your membership number
At
followed by at the
ICI.org.
rate ICAI.org.
If you don't have the members, if you don't have the login, you have to sign up for this first, sir. I think many of
Okay.
us had done it so. So I am now logging in. After logging in, in the left corner, you can see dashboard, my products, transaction progress. In this, you have to click on my products so that whatever active products you have been subscribed to will be shown here. So mine is in the certificate course of forensic accounting and fraud detection is here. I have to click this launch button.
Just 1 second, Ragvi. Just be there. Let others
Hmm.
also come up to here because many
Oh,
people are
yes, sir.
doing no.
Yes,
So we
yes.
are waiting for you, for everybody to come up to here. So put your credentials, go to the left hand side tab, click on the product and you will come to this screen. Complete up to here. Yeah, so Rajesh, you click on resume. All right, we'll wait for another 30 seconds for others to confirm, then we will proceed. Others, please confirm so that we can go ahead. All right, Ragvi, we can proceed.
Yes, sir. We have to click this launch button. And the screen will be like this first. You have to click on this in your left hand side. There will be three lines, small lines, three lines. If you select it, it will show the table of contents. You
Right.
just scroll it down so that you can see day 1, day 2, day 3. There will be listings. 11 day will be listed here.
Yes.
We have to click this day 1. In the day 1, you can see there is a join button. Is this okay, sir? Can I click on the join or I
Yeah,
need?
just wait for 30 seconds
Yes, sir.
because everybody will have different internet speed. Some of
Yes,
them may
yes.
have reached it. So we'll wait for 30 seconds. Friends, I don't think there's a WhatsApp group has been created. Okay. If WhatsApp group is there, then somebody can share the link so that others can join. So we have now got a group sharing link also. Those who have not joined the group can please join as well. Yeah, you can proceed, Ragvi.
Yes, sir. Now we have to click the join button. So since I'm already in a meeting, it is asking me to leave and join. If you click on the
Right.
join button, it will ask you two questions, sir. If Zoom is already installed, it will ask, can I use it as a default application for opening all these meeting? And if you say open in Zoom, the meeting will get connected, sir. So this is the procedure we have to follow for each daily sessions. And in day 2, it will be asking you whether the yesterday's feedback of Zoom we have to press the stars which is showing on next class, then it will get automatically
Recording
connected,
stopped.
sir.
Okay. So from here on, friends, you can continue because she has already joined the meeting, so she won't be able to show you. But I think from here on, the steps are easy. Great, friends. So I think no, I have not yet started because we thought once we'll start the session, we'll start the recording.
ये तो ध्यान साहब मैंने तो लॉग इन करके ना
All right, so we'll start the session now, isn't it? I'm just checking from where to start the recording now because I got the option to stop, but now I'm not finding the option to restart. Just 1 second. Even after joining the session through the process DLH page shows, I haven't understood your query, Hitesh. Maybe others can help you. Great. All right, now we can continue. Thank you, Raghavi, once again. I'll just change your status now so that you can be as a participant. Now I'm sharing my screen. Now even I'm not getting few options. Just hold on. I am host. Make host. I see in Mumbai. Well, some options even I am not able to get now, but that's okay. We can continue with the session. Can you see my screen once again? All right. Now, having understood that why this course is important and what is it that is expected from the industry, let us now focus on the mindset of this course. See, friends, this image is very, very important. Whatever you are going to learn from now on till the time your course ends and when you start practicing, this is what you're going to do. Our job is to filter the fakes from the fact. Please understand that our job is forensics investigator. Okay, we are doing forensic accounting where we will be given books of accounts, transactions, facts. We need to identify from the fact what is right and what is wrong. And not only we have to find, we have to even collect sufficient appropriate evidences to prove that whatever you have given to me, out of that, this much is fake. Here, everything is fact based. unlike the audit report.
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, can you please check whether the session is being getting recorded, sir?
Yeah, actually, it is not getting recorded, but I'm not even getting the option to start recording again. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Sir, if recording is not available, the participants who are absent today will not be able to see the class later, sir.
I don't know why this option is not featuring with me. Okay, we'll get this sorted. Do not worry about it. We will ensure that, we will have this recorded. We'll take this into consideration during the break because, as somebody said, no, we have lost a lot of time in the beginning only. Okay. Yeah, that I've already done. I have changed the status of Ragvi from host to participant now. But still, to me, these options are not featuring. We'll take care of it rather than wasting time over all these things. We will get this sorted in the break. Okay. An initial session, first half an hour, 45 minutes goes into like this because everybody is new to this platform. So some teething issues happens, but do not worry. Okay. Now I'm sharing my screen once again. So please remember that everything that we are doing here is fact finding. It is not like your traditional audits where you are expressing your opinion. So that's the fundamental difference you need to remember. Okay. The entire activity revolves around fact finding, and whatever goes into our reports is also statements of facts. So, this much basic understanding you should gain. Now, coming to this particular image, tell me what is it that you are able to make out from this image? You can write in the chat or you can speak by raising your hand. This is a very, very important. The image here is of a forensic investigator. What is unique that you see from this image? Please start contributing because all of your answers are going to generate healthy discussion. This is the foundation of your understanding. So he's trying, smiling, smelling, forensic can ask questions. Pinocchio poke one's nose into anything and everything. Smell the fraud, looks messy. Kejriwal, it's a wonderful finding, Vibor. He can find out the frauds in the companies, doing concentration. Bis knows, Tom knows, okay. Satyam scam. Question mark in the head. Okay, senses the situation. Fata hua coat. Okay, that's also a good observation. See, a lot of things are there in this image. And we will have a very healthy discussion based on whatever you are. More accountability, less. It is wonderful. But no, this domain is remunerative. You get nicely paid. Scar on his face looks beaten up. Yes, that's one of the dark side of this practice. We have heard, we have got threatening calls. We have to change the hotels overnight. We have to cancel the engagements. So these are some dark sides of this practice. So yes, sometimes you get beaten up also. Unusual face. Why it is unusual? केजरीवाल जैसा ही तो लगता है. No, he is not an owner on whom the fraud has happened. He is a forensic investigator. I think you have been a learned audience. Whatever kind of observations you have made, he is looking weak, not strong personality. Okay. So it's a God gift. He's been made by the God like this. So we cannot change the personality, but yes, his knowledge, his skills can be refined and trained to become an investigator. So now what is it that I'm going to do is I'm going to summarize all your observations and I'm going to discuss very important things. Basis the inputs that you all have given, how it is important in our practice to culminate this in our nature. So some of you said that he has got a Pinocchio nose. He has got a nose which is smelling everything, which is sensing everything. It is deep diving into it. He is poking his nose into everything. Yes, that is what we have to do. And that's the first thing that you need to understand. If you observe this image, he has got a long nose, which is very unusual. None of the human being have such a long nose. So when we were all pursuing our CA qualification, I remember my boss used to tell me that Amish, if you need to be a good auditor, you need to be a good listener. God has given us 2 ears and only one mouth, which means you have to listen twice than what you speak. And I used to appreciate that because when I started doing audits, be it a statutory audit or an internal audit or a tax audits or even bank branch audits or nowadays even systems audit, that really holds valid. We have to speak less and listen more. But as a normal auditor, being into this domain, that's a good trait. But the moment you shift to a forensic investigation, you need to acquire one additional skill set, which is sensing, smelling, going into the depth of everything, and then identifying the fakes from the facts. Therefore, friends, if you need to be a good investigator, you need to have an art of smelling things. You need to acquire this art of asking questions, going into the depth of everything so that you can find out the fakes from the fact. That is the first and foremost prerequisite which you need to understand. Second is, many of you have stated this rightly, that if you look at his overall appearance, he is weak. Okay, his grooming is very weak. His hairs are not parted. His clothes are torn. His knot of the tie is not well knotted. He looks little confused and busy. He's puzzled. His eyes are close-ended, so he doesn't know what to do, or maybe he's concentrating. Either ways, but overall appearance suggests that he is very busy. He has got a forensic investigation engagement, but he is deficient on the tools and techniques to use. See, friends, this practice requires understanding and knowledge of tools and technologies. You cannot do this practice just with your IQ. Even if you are a good, like a Sherlock Holmes kind of a mindset, but still you cannot be a successful investigator. Why? Because human brain have limitations. Therefore, after my 3 days of session, next 6 days we are going to spend on the tools and techniques, where faculty concern will take you through various tools which you will be able to put to use to become a good investigator. So that is the second thing that you need to remember. No matter how good you are, but without the support of the system, you cannot grow beyond a point. You will not be able to complete your engagement on time. Those who have done some bit of a work in this domain would appreciate that these activities are provided to us, these engagements are provided to us with a very stringent deadline. We do not have the flexibility of time. We have no infinite time frame to complete the investigation. So with a stipulated time frame, if you have to do the job, that to find the fakes and evidences to prove the allegation against the fraudster, then you need to be good at tools. Either you learn it or have those people who are good at that use of the tool. So that is the second takeaway. Third is that you need to be having a clean background. Although this person looks very poor on the outfit, but that's the fact. Okay, you need to be ethical, you need to have a clear background to be able to get engagements, because before your engagements is accepted, lot of background checks are performed on your own character. So if you are convicted of an offense, if you are part of any fraud in the past, then you may not be able to even qualify for some of the projects, like some of the empanelment projects or vendor based, sorry, tender based projects. You may not even qualify if your history is not clean. Okay, so these are few of the facts that you need to remember. Okay. Now I am formally introducing you to the concept of forensic accounting or forensic investigation. Okay. So please have a look at this on your screen. Take a moment to read this. And then just tell me, what have you make up from this definition of fraud? What is unique? When would you say that somebody has perpetrated a fraud? What are the prerequisites for something to be considered as a fraud? Yes, very nice. The first answer itself by Shushma, followed by Chaya, followed by most of the people is correct. Here, you need to look at the intention. Very, very important. Whether a particular activity is considered as a fraud or not, there has to be an intention to deceive. That is very, very important. And that is what we have to prove as an investigator, that there was an intention to deceive. Okay. Now, if you see the bookish definition or the definition given under various acts, then the fraud can be perceived differently depending upon the particular relevant acts that we are referring to. So if you look at this, what it says is fraud is a type of criminal activity defined as abuse of position, fail to disclose information knowingly and prejudice to someone rights. ये एसी कम कर सकते बड़ा मतलब बढ़ा सकते हैं या इसको बंद कर सकते हैं? चलिए लग रहा है। हाँ बहुत ठंडा हो गया है। ठीक है मैं बोलता हूँ। और इनकेस एक चाय मिल सके तो sorry. So here, as I said, if I am a CFO of the company, and being a CFO, I have a threshold of sanctioning certain expenditure. But I know that CEO is largely dependent on me. And he is seeking certain favors from me occasionally, time and again. Like I sit late in the office, I perform some extra task for them, and I do some, benefit to them. Now, as against that, there was one vendor from which the company has procured the material. Now I want the company to increase the order size and get more material from them. And I went to the CEO. I said, see, I do a lot of stuff for you, which is outside my job profile. In response to that, as a favor, you start buying more material from this particular vendor. Is it a fraud? What do you think? Can it be considered as a fraud? Just return of favor. Is it an intention to cheat, Geeta? Are we deriving some undue benefit as what Shivam said earlier? So we are getting mix of the opinion, isn't it? So here you need to see that the way I defined the instance, you think that I'm abusing the position. But I have not told you that when I went to the CEO and I said that buy from this vendor, have I said to buy at a discounted rate or a premium rate or pay extra to this vendor? I just said that since I am doing some favor to you, can you start buying something more from this vendor? But that may be at the same arm's length price, that may be at the same price, same terms and conditions of what others are providing. Then there is no intent to defraud, there is no intent to deceive, there is no abuse of position. Yes, if there is a kickback which I am getting from that vendor because I am now favoring that vendor also, and if these facts can be proved, then it is a fraud. Hope you are understanding. Or if that particular vendor is a relative of mine and I have not made sufficient disclosure about that information, which I knew. If I am going to the CEO and I am saying, hey, look, this is a vendor, although you buy at the arm's length price, but please be wary of the fact that he is my nephew, or he is my cousin, or he is my uncle, or he is my company where I am substantially interested, or this is a related party. If I have not made that information clearly visible or known to the people, then this is a fraud. Hope you are appreciating. Not everything is a fraud. You have to prove the fraud based on these facts. If the vendor is gaining out of it, or if some other benefit is derived, and if you can prove that it is done with the intent to defraud, or later on, if a CEO comes to know of this fact, he comes to me and says, hey, Mr. CFO, you suggested this vendor. We started buying more, but later on, now I found after 3 months that this vendor is your nephew. Can I say that, no, no, sir, it was my mistake. I forgot to inform you. I could have informed you. Then can I say that this is a fraud? Now can I say whether this is a fraud? Thank you. Yes, anybody? Now can I say this is a fraud? If CFO finds it out, CEO finds it out after 6 months that I have some relationship with this vendor, which I failed to disclose at the beginning. What do you think? Yes, friends, now it is a fraud because I had some information which I failed to disclose. I would have disclosed it at the beginning that I have a vested interest. Although I may not have sought any kickback, although I may not have sought any additional commission, although the products are bought from this vendor at the arm's length price, but this is an important information, right? Imagine this is an insider trading kind of a situation, right? Here, yes, Shivam, but how will you prove my intention? Can you hack into my mind? Can you trust me just based on my words? So the very fact that I knew of this fact when I was referring this to the CEO and I could not disclose or I did not disclose is sufficient enough to prove my intentions. Then the onus goes on to me now. I have to prove that I had no malified intention to hide this critical information. So this is how we have to go and approach these situations. Similarly, if in the books there are notes to accounts and no proper disclosures are made by the management, then this is considered as a fraud unless and until management has enough evidences to prove it otherwise. Hope you are appreciating the discussion. All right. Now, the general definition, the dictionary meaning of the fraud is prejudicing someone's rights for personal gain. Okay. Fraud is an act of deception intended for personal gain or to cause a loss to another party. Right? Whereas Companies Act, the definition is little different. Here, it is very important. It says that fraud includes all of the above. However, with the slight change, but very important change, whether or not there is a wrongful gain or loss from such an act. Okay. Whether you benefited or not is irrespective. But if the intent is there, if you have falsified any financial transactions or books of accounts or tampered with any document, whether there is a benefit that you have received it or not, doesn't matter, it is still a fraud. So the coverage of fraud as far as Companies Act is concerned is wider and broader. Okay. Similarly, Section 25 of IPC also says that a person is said to do a thing fraudulently if it does that with the intent to defraud, but not otherwise. Okay, so here intent needs to be proved under IPC. Right? जरा बंद कर दीजिए और वो चालू रखिए. Similarly, we have standards on auditing that also gives a reference to various aspects of the fraud. We are not going into the detail at the moment, but this slide gives you the touch points of the fraud from different aspects. Because our domain is based on the fraud, you should understand what the fraud is all about and the different aspects of the fraud under Companies Act as per auditing standards and as per the IPC. Now, this is an elaboration of the earlier slide. Please look into that. Just go through this slide. If you need any discussion on any of the point, these are simple points based on the discussion we just had. If I know certain things, say for example, I am head of accounts reporting into the CFO. Now I know that this vendor is a nephew of the CFO, whom CFO has recommended to buy more quantity to the CEO. Now, am I party to the fraud? Is it mandatory for me to blow the whistle that CFO has not disclosed this fact to the CEO? What if I am under the threat that my job will be at stake, or I have some, threatening calls coming in, they can harm me and my family? Yes, Rajesh, you are right. See, friends, we may come across a lot of information which is sensitive, which is critical. But if organizations do not provide conducive environment to disclose this fact, like whistleblower mechanism is not there, or there is no ethical compliance committee in an organization, you have no confidence or faith in the seniors or the management. What if you disclose this and you will be fired? Then you cannot be held accountable or responsible for this. But as rightly said by Rajeshji, if you have been asked and then you remain silent, that means you are concealing the fact. So in case of Satyam fraud, CFO of the company was aware that Ramalingan Raju is maintaining parallel books of accounts. He is siphoning the funds. He is diversifying the funds of the company. He is investing the funds of the company by creating an artificial expense or loss in the books, withdrawing the funds, utilizing it for various purposes. All this while he was aware of all this, but he was silent, right? But when asked, he revealed all the facts. He cooperated with the authorities and supported them in providing all the information, explanation to the investigators. Of course, that doesn't mean that he will be relieved because he was party to the fraud. He was doing all the activities, but he was not convicted for concealment. He was convicted to be part of that. He was actually party to doing all these wrong things. He had an option of leaving. He could have gone and left the firm. He could have joined somewhere else. But he deliberately did so. And in that way, he got some favors. So he was party to the fraud, but not under this provision. Right? Now coming to the word forensic. What is forensic and why this domain is different than any of the audits that we have done? So please read the definition of the term forensic. The word forensics comes from the Latin word forensis, meaning of or before the forum. Friends, tell me how many stat audits report or even bank branch audit reports or income tax audit reports were challenged? How many queries you have received on your stat audit reports from the stakeholders concerned? After you submit report, do you get any queries from anybody? Our reports are presented in the AGM, right? Whether any shareholder or stakeholder have ever came and approached you seeking for clarification? The answer is no, right? CAG, yes, sometimes occasionally they do, but most of the stakeholders who read our report, they have literally they do not go through it or they have no kind of interest in a report because it's a tick mark. What is our statutory audit report? It's a compliance and assurance report. It says that whether the books of accounts comply with rules and regulations, whether they comply with accounting standards, and to the best of our ability, based on the information and explanation provided to us, and based on the auditing techniques, standards on auditing, we concluded the audit, and in our opinion, books of accounts are true and fair. That's it. Now, if somebody has to even come up with that, we provide our explanations, we provide our justification for the opinion. Now, in my opinion, Raghavi is the most talented participant in this batch. But maybe Rajesh Ameta disagrees with it. Rajesh says, even I am equally contributing. But I said, no, Raghavi, according to me, is the best participant because it is my opinion. And I have X, Y, Z reasons to believe that. Now you may or may not agree with that. So that's where the gray areas of audit comes into play. But here, my friends, we are putting the statements of the fact, and the onus to prove this fact is onto the investigator, because your report is going to be challenged by the stakeholders whom you are alleging. See, when I'm doing an investigation, and if I come across a kind of a evidence which substantiate the fraud against an individual, I'm going to put that fact. And my report is going to allege, saying that the person has committed fraud. What do you think? The fraudster will, with open arms, accept my allegation? He'll say, no, you're a good investigator. I agree that I've done the fraud. The answer is no. Friends, they are white collar criminals. They are smart people. They have intelligence. They are not like a roadside criminal who will just kill somebody. They are intellectually good people, right? Look at Ramalingan Raju, look at Vijay Mallya, look at Nirav Modi. They are not ordinary people. They are extra smart people. So we are dealing with people who are good in terms of their intellect. They are not going to accept. So your report will be challenged in the court of law. Your report will be challenged by the person whom you are alleging. So better you have proper facts with supporting evidences. And therefore it is called forensics, right? Because the onus is on us. Unlike your opinion, where you can say that, okay, this is my opinion, you can have your opinion, it doesn't work here in forensics. That's a fundamental difference. And therefore, the methodology, the approach is very, very different and meticulous. Okay. Now, we have used the term in your course, forensic accounting or auditing. Actually, sorry, somebody is saying no, sir. What is no, sir, Vijay? Can you elaborate? Acha, you are answering to the previous question. Okay, my mistake. So, friends, please note that we are no more using the term forensic auditing, although globally, vaguely, many people are using it. But in India, after we have released forensic accounting and investigation standards, we have started using the term forensic investigation and or forensic accounting. Okay, so please remember this much as far as Indian context is concerned, right? In your forensic accounting, what do we do? It's a field of accounting that explores fraud by examining historical data. This is very important. It is like a backward activity, backward looking, right? Things have already happened and we have been appointed to dig the details, look into the past, probe into the past, and find out the facts. How would you find out? Using your accounting methods, because we are experts in financial investigation. Are we experts in criminal investigation? Can we do DNA forensics? Can we do digital forensics? The answer is no. We as a chartered accountants are experts in financial forensics. We are called doctors of balance sheet, right? We can dissect the balance sheet, we can operate the balance sheet, we can interpret the balance sheet the way nobody else can do. Our expertise lies into accounts, audit, and tax. So we are good forensics accounting investigators. Okay. Right. Now, one important thing, whenever we are doing or seeking this sort of an engagement, you have to be mindful of the fact that there are two different legs of this investigation. One is submission of the report, other is litigation support. Both are different and both requires a lot of time, effort, and energy. So you need to quote the fees differently for these two services. Although they are related to each other, but they are two different sets of services. Sometimes you will be engaged or given the you will be empaneled only for doing investigation and your job ends there. Okay, then if we are going ahead for a litigation support, then you will be called in the courtroom. You will be called as an expert witness. You will have to elaborate, explain from the raw data, using which tools, how have you collected the evidences, and prove your allegations to the court. For which there is a separate charge you need to kind of put in your practice. In your engagement, in your scope letter, engagement letter, you need to carve out this. Because most of the time what happens is that out of 10, 7 report will go to the court of law. They will be challenged. So you will have to closely deal with the advocates or the lawyers of your client. You need to explain what have you done so that they can in turn go to the courtroom and explain to the court. And at time court, if not convinced with the arguments of the lawyer, because lawyers do not understand what have you done, so you need to frequently visit the court till the matter is disbursed. So for that, you can charge extra to your client. Okay. This is the fundamental difference between your traditional audits and forensic audit. Here we are expressing the opinion. Here we are giving the statement of fact, whether fraud has happened or not happened. And if it has happened, three things we find out: who the fraudster is, what is the modus operandi of fraud, and the exposure. If you are noting down, please note down. If the fraud has happened, your job is to report three things. Okay. Who the fraudster is, what is the modus operandi of the fraud, and the exposure. Okay. Friends, is my speed okay? Am I going too fast? Are you comfortable so far? Great. Excellent. Thank you for confirmation. Now, yes, we will break. Do not worry, Chaya. Not for 5 minutes. We'll break for sizable 15 minutes so that you can grab your tea, coffee, you can finish whatever work you have. Just allow me. Yeah, we will get 15 minutes break. Don't worry. Every day we'll get break. Third point is exposure. Exposure to the fraud. The amount of fraud. It may not be accurate, it may be tentative, but you need to derive something. Pradeep, we will have to take break. Yeah, I appreciate, but we will require a break, isn't it? Continuously sitting and understanding also reduces the efficiency level. Okay. Yes, yes, only 15 minutes, not more than that. I am sipping my tea along with it. Okay. So my air condition is just above my head, so I was feeling little cold, so I requested for a tea. No, no, Pradeep, do not worry. Yeah. Pradeep, we will not give a break to Pradeep. He will still continue to work. Okay. All right. Now let us come back. Very important thing. Let me ask you, though it is a simple looking question, but think and answer. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of investigation? Why would company hire you to detect fraud? Think and answer. It is not simple answer. Think deep and then what would be the end objective? To identify how much is the loss, to prevent it in future. The exposure is unknown, so they want you to define the exposure. Public interest, okay. Plug the leakage, companies accountable, impact. I'll give you a hint, though you are all, most of your answers are rotating around the same point, how much loss company has faced. So all of you are somewhat giving the same answer using different English words, but I'm giving you a hint. Think, every organization is for profit making. From this hint, try to derive the correct answer. Every organization is for profit making. Even regulatory engagements, regulator is interested in recovery of their lost revenue by way of tax, by way of whatever. How much time to recovery such fraud? No. Tax impact? No. To avoid occurrence? No. Okay, if anyone gives me correct answer in next 10 seconds, I will give one exam exemption free. Leakage? No. Goodwill? No. Prevention, no. All these are correct answers, but not the primary objective. All what you are saying is right. But that's not why company is going to hire you. Let me tell you, friends, that everybody is interested in the recovery. See, fraud has taken place. The sooner you catch hold of the fraudster, you will try to recover as much as possible, no? This is what government did with Vijay Mallya. But before they start recovering, before they were able to fix the allegation on, Mallya fled away. Same happened with Nirav Modi. So imagine, after you detect the fraud, after you identify the modus operandi, after you got the exposure, what next is the recovery. That's the purpose. Everybody wants to make good their losses. If everybody starts stealing, then the most profitable company at some point in time will turn into loss making. All what you are saying is right, but for that company has to remain live, no? If after finding the fraudster, if fraudster is not in a position to recover the money, if you are not able to recover anything from the fraudster, what will happen? And that's why, friends, they'll give you a very stringent deadline. They want you to finish your investigation ASAP so that you can prove the guilt, you can catch hold of the fraudster, recover before the money is spent. And then comes all of what you have just said. Hope you are agreeing to what we are discussing. Right? So that's very important. Keep that in mind. So if company is paying you say 10 lakh, 15 lakh to identify a fraud, it is not a charity. They want you to do it in such a way that their money, whatever few crores of rupees of siphoning has happened, from whatever they are paying you, they should be able to recover. You need to give them facts, you need to give them sizable evidences which can be proven in the court of law, or even to corner the fraudster to recover the loss. Not necessarily that the court is the only way. There can be out of court settlement. You have enough evidences where you can catch hold of the fraudster within the four walls of boardroom and say, we have this much. Either you give or we are going to court of law. Right? Many matters doesn't even go to the court. Within the boardroom, they get resolved. Right? So that is the purpose that you need to keep in mind. Okay. Now, coming further to this, for the timing, I'm not looking into your chat at the moment. So here, this is the basic fundamental difference. Your audit is a sample-based audit, whereas here, we go for 100% check. Very, very important. Here, materiality is different concept. Materiality doesn't mean a big amount. Materiality can be a small amount. Materiality can be a small amount. Materiality can be a trivial transaction. Materiality a small 100 units taken away by the godown in charge. All this can be a part of investigation. Just because out of such a big warehouse where 1 lakh units are there, some 10 items are missing, I would not look into it because it is immaterial. It doesn't work in forensics. That could be a red flag. That could be an indicator from where the fraud would have started. And please bear in mind, the fraud starts at a small scale. Over a period of time, it becomes bigger. Have you heard of a concept called salami technique? Anybody? Salami technique is a way, so I'm explaining for the benefit of everybody. Salami technique, if I give you a simple example, say your electricity bill comes. Okay. Now your electricity bill is 2,500 rupees, 35 paise. Okay. Now what I have done, I have rounded it up, 2,501 rupee. So I've added 65 paise to your bill. Now, you being such a wealthy person, you are a chartered accountant, you don't even bother for 65 paise. You go and make the payment. Same way, every other electricity consumer will go and make the payment. For some, I will charge 65 paise, 50 paise, 30 paise, 70 paise, 90 paise. and I have 20 lakh such customers. How much it comes to money? How much it comes to 1 month amount? Maybe few lakhs. And because nobody is bothering, they are paying extra money. I'm accounting it into separately. It is not going into the government. And I am accounting this money separately into my personal account. And because amount is small, even government is not bothered. Something like that. Same happens in the bank treasury, same happens in the cash. Some rounding up is done, accounting is done, and the remaining money is siphoned away. So the point here is that materiality doesn't apply here in forensics. Seemingly trivial matters can be an indicator or a red flag for the investigation. So remember that. Okay. Now I am giving you a guru mantra. And this is the most important thing before the break you should remember. What is the guru mantra? In audit, which is your traditional audits, my friend, financial audits, tax audits, stat audits, our mindset is what? We go with the mindset that everybody is a person of God. We have faith in management, we have faith in books of accounts, we have faith in CFO, we have faith in head of accounts, head of finance, everybody. We trust everybody unless otherwise I have a reason to doubt. That's a mindset I carry in financial audit. Because my primary objective is to express an opinion. That's it, right? My primary objective is not to find fraudster. My primary objective is not to contest that these books are containing fraudulent transactions, right? My objective is whether these books of accounts comply with accounting standard, Companies Act, RBI, FEMA, income tax, whatever, they are as per the law and showing the true and correct picture or true and fair picture. That's it. So for that, I need not doubt anybody, right? Same happened in Satyam case. PwC wanted to verify certain transactions in the balance sheet. Some transactions, they asked for the details. For the remaining, they sought management declaration and they relied on it. For some, they asked the bank to give the declaration, they relied on it. They never doubted that the bank employee could have a connivance with the management. Bank's certifications or the declarations are wrong. We just went with the flow because this is what is the requirement of the traditional audit. Friends, in forensics, the Guru Mantra is trust nobody other than God. I repeat, trust nobody other than God, which means you should have to have an investigative, suspicious mindset. You have to start your investigation by doubting everybody. You have to give no opportunity to anybody to say that you are not a fraudster. Instead, you say that you prove that you are not a fraudster. That's the kind of mindset with which you have to start your investigation. Then only you will be successful enough in this domain. If you start behaving friendly, trying to believe in whatever they are saying, then my friends, you are not going to be a good successful investigator because people are going to give you a lot of fakes. And if you keep trusting, you will not be able to extract fact from the fakes. Okay. So what is the mantra? Trust nobody other than God. Okay. Even at times, if time permits, tomorrow I'll share some of the live case studies where people who have appointed us, we found fraud against them. So people who are supporting, people who are engaging you, doesn't mean that they are out of your purview. They can also be party to fraud. Sometimes people who support us doesn't mean that they are helping us, which means we should not doubt on them. You have to doubt on them as well. On a lighter note, suppose you go for a stat audit, you are sitting in a conference room, client is taking good care of you, asking for tea, coffee, lunch, dinner, arranging good vehicle for you for pickup and drop, taking you for sightseeing. As a financial auditor, we enjoy. But if you are a forensic investigator, your mind should raise an alarm that why are they doing so favor to us? Something is wrong. Why is helping me so much? That is a trigger that should come within you. That is where the poking of nose comes into play. Yes, forensic auditor is kind of a bloodhound and not a watchdog anymore. Okay. Then you have to, if you have to do 100% check, it is practically not possible without the support of the tools. So you will learn how to use Excel, how to use CAT tools, how to use digital forensics tools for performing a in-depth analysis for your investigation. Okay. Then generally we rely on the management declaration. Here you collect the management declaration, but do not rely until you have reason to rely. Here you rely until you have a reason to doubt. Here you do not rely until you have a reason to rely. Hope you understand the complete contrary mindset of the investigator. This is what you have to practice. The more you get into this, the more professional you become. Initially, it will be tough because most of the time you have done this. Suddenly, if you start doubting on everybody, you will not have that bent of mind or the nature. You have to develop this. This is an art which can be acquired. Okay. Here, you may issue negative qualified opinion. You may not quantify. Suppose AS9 revenue recognition is not followed, or depreciation is not as per the accounting standard. You may or you may not quantify the effect on the balance sheet, P&L, etc. But here, to the extent possible, as I said, you have to identify the impact also. May not be accurate, but it has to be close to accurate. Okay. So these are the concepts that you need to understand. Now we will take a small 15 minutes break. Yes, absolutely right, Pradeep. Your job is like a CID of Sony TV. I will discuss, this is a good example, Pradeep. After the 15 minutes break, when we'll discuss further, I will touch upon this as well. We'll take few characters and we'll explain the concept in much more detail. So it's about 7 o'clock. Shall we resume in another 15 minutes? Yes, Anu. Daya kuch to gadbad hai. So that is a mindset you should develop. Okay. So please enjoy your tea, coffee, finish your remaining day's work, attend some important calls, and come back at 7. Friends, are you all back? Shall we start? All right. Friends, is my screen visible? All right. So as you rightly mentioned during our discussion, when I asked you as to what is the primary objective of clients engaging us for fraud investigation, most of your queries, yes, recovery of loss, rightly now you have all understood. So besides that, these are the other domains where they can hire us for fraud detection. You remember most of you were saying to prevent the future occurrence of the fraud. So that is fraud prevention also. Okay, they would want you to go through the existing infrastructure, controls, policies, procedures, and identify are there any revenue leakage opportunities or siphoning of the funds, etc., etc. That nowadays the forensics, computer forensics is also gaining a lot of importance. So you have a session on digital forensics. So that is another area where even chartered accountants are considered for contributing to computer forensics engagements. And this is what we discussed. Okay, litigation support. These are your potential recruiters. These are the potential uh, customer base for us. Okay, like lawyers can also engage you, police forces can engage you, insurance companies and banks are engaging us since many years. When, say, for example, a customer has taken a loan from the bank, okay, it's a working capital loan, and as part of the agreement, customer has to submit the stock statements or the working capital statements to the bank. Now, bank, as part of the fraud risk management, will appoint you and will tell you to go to the client's warehouses and their locations and calculate the value, calculate the stock, which is stock taking, then derive the value of stock, look at the condition of the stock. Now that engagement itself is an investigation sort of engagement where whatever facts are submitted by the client of the bank who has taken the loan from the bank, although he's a good customer, paying the EMI regularly, he is not a defaulter, his CIBIL score is good, but bank still wants to perform the check on few of the clients, considering the amount of loan, considering the industry in which they operate, considering the latest news or the market intel which they have gathered for the client. They will appoint you to identify are things hunky dory or is there anything wrong happening, and for that whatever engagements that you do is part of forensics engagement, because while bank is appointing you to verify the authenticity, correctness and accuracy of the statements, bank is not sure whether the client has done the fraud or not. They are engaging you to find out and detect the fraud. You may encounter some facts which are wrongly submitted to the bank, or you may find everything is clear, right? So that itself is where a lot of banks are engaging chartered accountants. Even insurance companies, if a client has taken a general insurance, they have insured their stock, business losses, their properties, and if something goes wrong, then they will engage you to first verify whether the claim uh, basis the loss of the stock or loss of profit, is it tenable? Have they really genuinely suffered that much loss? So they will appoint you as a forensic accountant. They would want you to rebuild the books, okay, till the date of the event, maybe a fire or an earthquake or whichever event has damaged their stock, you have to rebuild those books and produce it to the insurance companies that, okay, if the company is saying that I've got 100 crore of stock lying in the godown when the fire took place, whether 100 crore is a correct amount or not. So that itself is a forensic investigation or forensic engagement that you have just entered into. So many a times you might have done something like this without realizing that what we just ended up doing was a forensic work. Because imagine the company has lodged a claim of 100 crores. You may come up and say, no, the stock according to our forensic accounting is not 100 crores, it's only 60 crores. So it is you who have to prove, and it is client who have to prove to the insurance company, and then basis which the final decision will be taken, or the matter will be taken forward, and some more investigations of the formal nature may be directed by the IRDA or the court will take place. But what you just ended up doing was an investigation, right? Nowadays, even internal investigations are called for. A lot of managements will hire you for reviewing their SOPs, for internal revenue leakage, or even employee frauds. Okay. Courts can direct an order for investigation to be done by independent chartered accountants who are experts into forensics investigation. Then, if you're empaneled with authorities, then those sort of engagements will come to you. Okay. A lot of government bodies like RBI inspectors are hiring us. Your income tax audit is kind of an investigation where income tax department wants to know whether the assessee has paid the tax as per the income earned by them, as per the income showed in the books. Have they done any tax evasion? Maybe at the time of tax audit, department has no visible circumstantial or concrete evidences. But after the tax audits that you do, government gets an assurance that yes, whatever income has been disclosed by the assessee, whatever tax has been paid is as per the books. So these sort of engagements are there since ages and is going to remain in future as well. So these are your potential customers. So if you really want to scale up in this domain, be visible on LinkedIn, look for these people as your potential customers. Okay. Then comes the skills the forensic auditor shall possess. So these are the broad level of skills, although we will touch upon a lot of skills as we develop our understanding further in the course. But just have a look at this illustrative list of skills that you should all have. Like Pradeep was mentioning about the CID, right? So a lot of clue you can take from that CID serial. It is running since ages. I remember when I was a student, since then it was running, or rather it is running. So today also, while you're surfing channels, flipping through your mobile, your remote control, you will end up invariably seeing one or the few episodes. Similarly, we have Crime Patrol and whatnot. So if you see the last one is the most important one. A lot of intel you will gather if you have got good connects. There are paid services, paid websites, which will give you a lot of intel about the clients that you are investigating, the directors, the employees, the companies, the related parties. So this is not about restricting to only books of accounts. I always tell whenever I take the session that in your statutory audit, most of the reliance is placed on the books of accounts, the information, the management declarations, the vouchers and all. Here, friends, you have to broaden your horizons. Books, information provided by the clients is hardly 20%. A lot of what you gather comes from your market intel, paid services, interviewing, speaking to the people, being on the ground, observing softer aspects of the client's body movements, body languages, so on and so forth. So a lot of it we'll cover tomorrow and day after. But this is where you need to learn the art you need to acquire those skills. Birbhan has raised the hand. Let me see. Yeah, Birbhan, you need to speak something? I've allowed you to speak.
No, sir.
Okay, you have raised your hand,
And
so I thought you raised. Okay, no
I
problem. If you're
I
speaking
just
something,
wanted to
then
know that yes,
please continue.
I wanted to ask one question. As in one slide you have said, in fraud definition fails to disclose information. Whether this definition is applicable for this forensic audit or in other audit also.
See, this is a general definition of the fraud. So, irrespective of the nature of engagement, whenever the task is given to detect or identify fraud or to consider an activity to be fraud, these broader guidelines are taken into consideration.
Okay. In as a auditor of financial books, we generally disclose write in our reports that information has been not provided by the client. This is not available with him. Is it fraud?
You're not audible if you're speaking. We have lost your voice, Birbanji.
Hello.
Yes.
I am saying that in our audit of financial statement, we generally sometimes use languages that we have not received information and not provided by the management. Is it tentative to fraud?
Okay. It's a good question. This is covered in the subsequent sessions also, which I'm going to take. But now that you have raised this point, see, friends, we at times come across a situation where we will not get the information required for extracting the facts or identifying the fraudster modus operandi and the amount of fraud. So in that case, it becomes a part of scope limitation, right? So you can very well mention this fact in your report. The only thing is that you need to demonstrate before mentioning the scope limitation that you have taken enough reasonable steps to gather the information and you failed. Okay, so that onus to prove that you have taken enough efforts is onto you. You cannot keep putting, like I sent one email to the client and said, I need this information. Client denied. And then I said, okay, if you don't want to give, I'll put it in the report. It doesn't work that way. You have to have a concentrated effort. You need to explore all the avenues before you conclude that this information is not going to be made available and therefore it is part of my scope limitation. So that much effort you have to demonstrate. Hope I have answered your question.
You mean to say if we have taken our efforts to get the information and evidence, and even after that we are unable to get it, then it means we have completed our duty as auditor.
So in such cases, what happens is that your investigation will be inconclusive or subject to this scope limitation. Because in the absence of information, you will not be able to extract the facts. And this entire practice is all about stating the facts. So you cannot assume things, you cannot add something on your own based on the past experiences or something. You have to go by the facts. Okay, because anything that you write in your report, the onus to prove that is correct is on to you. So you have to be very careful. If the information is not there, sometimes you have to forego the assignment for the want of information. You have to surrender, you have to withdraw, you have to cancel, you have to come out abruptly. All this is possible here in this practice. Halfway through, if you are not getting support, you may withdraw the engagement also. Like I'll give you a simple example. Bank has appointed you to do a third party audit, and bank has captured the right of verifying the working capital statements of the customer. Now, bank is exercising this right and appointing you to go to the ground and check. Now, you had requested for some data from the third party, say XYZ Limited. Now the management of XYZ Limited has given you the data, say 5,000 pages of printouts. Now you said that I am using Excel, I am using some tools, and this data is useless for me. I want it in a soft copy. Now the management of XYZ denies. Now the matter is handed over to the bank officials. Because bank has appointed you, you went to the bank, you said I had asked for the information, they have given me printouts. What would I do with this 5,000 pages? I want it in soft copy. So bank has written an email to them. Management says that your agreement between me and you when you were giving me the loan says that I have to cooperate with the auditor and I have to give the data. You have not specified in which format. So does it a data limitation or not? Can you enforce the third party to give you the data in the order in which you want? How would you treat this example? Anybody can answer. Is the third party management as fault? Is defaulting here or they are abiding by the contractual terms? What is your opinion, friends? Exactly, they are abiding by the terms. It is your requirement. Yeah. So if the bank is silent while drafting an agreement, people may take advantage of it. Right? This has happened with us. So you need to preempt all this at the time of scope discussion, that in what form of data that you need, in what way the data will come, do we have enough rights? Like sometimes bank doesn't even capture these rights of sharing the data to the auditor in their machine. Like I went to the bank has given me a conference room. They said you have to do the audit sitting here. You cannot take data out. Now, the tools that I'm using, the digital forensics tools or the data analytics tools, they are paid versions. They are installed in my laptop and they are not allowing me to use this laptop. Now, do you think bank will buy the license software only for us? How would you handle this situation? So, n number of such instances will come your way. The solution to that is you have to have a comprehensive list of all these requirements captured in your engagement letter. Okay. We are going to discuss this as we progress, but since you have raised this point, I am giving you few thoughts, a few examples to think through. Okay. But yes, if you have demonstrated, you have written few emails to the staff, if you have tried to gather some, traction from engaging the bank officials, you have tried handling the physical data by converting into electronic form and you fail, then you can very well go ahead. Yeah, but you need to demonstrate your efforts. Simply by just saying that data is not there, so I conclude my investigation. How would we conclude? Yeah, your conclusion is statement of facts. And in the absence of information, we cannot do that. So this remains inconclusive. Okay. Shall we proceed? Hope you are satisfied and clear with your doubt. Okay. Now, coming to very, very important section. By now, we have just developed the foundation of this in terms of what are the professional skill sets, personal skill sets, qualities that an investigator should have, what is investigation, what is forensics. So these terms we have understood. Now we are moving further in our journey. So what are the three things I told you that an investigator has to submit? One is if there's a fraud, then the name of the fraudster, who has done the fraud. Second, the modus operandi of the fraud. And third is the quantum of the fraud. Okay. So you know your end destination, you know where you want to reach. But today you are at the beginning of the investigation, you know where you want to go. How will you reach there? So to reach to the end destination, you will take help of these theories that we are going to study. Okay. Consider these fraud theories as a Google map. I am here in my office. I want to reach to my another client's office. I am going there for the first time. I know the address, but I don't know which route I should take. So I turn on the map, sit in the comfortable AC car, and just follow the direction. Left, right, U-turn, vagera, vagera, vagera. So these are your Google Maps. They will help you to reach close to your destination. They'll help you to identify the suspect. They'll help you to identify the red flags, yellow flags, green flags, so on and so forth. So that is what we are going to now study. Okay. So let us understand something about which are the sectors where the frauds are taking place. So you would observe that almost half of the frauds happens in a real estate and infrastructure sector. One-third of the fraud happens in the sector where we have major presence, banking, financial services, and rest of these sections. So again, if you want to know from where the business will come to us, these are the sectors that you should look for. Develop your networking, develop your client base, and they are the people, because these are the industries where employee frauds are on a very higher side. One more thing I mentioned earlier, that we are financial fraud investigators. Okay, we can also help our clients in identifying the employee related frauds. Okay, they are called as occupational frauds. If you are noting down, please note down the kind of frauds that we are discussing. Even the report that I shared at the beginning, they are all occupational frauds. The frauds perpetrated by a person when he or she is occupying a position in an organization. A position could be a senior position, a position could be a board member, a position can be a junior employee. So whatever wrongful acts that you do as a capacity of an employee or a particular position of power are called as occupational frauds. Okay. So now we are discussing the first fraud theory. We call it as a fraud triangle theory. What is the purpose of these theories? To help you reach close to your destination. We also, before the break, discussed that we have to doubt everybody unless we have enough reason to not doubt on that particular person. Right? So you have so many people to doubt on. You can't keep on doubting on everybody and keep investigating in detail. So these theories will help you to shortlist from those large set of people whom to focus, who could be a potential suspect. Okay. So there was this journalist in US who coined this theory for the first time. This journalist was very inquisitive. He always had that fascination that why people commit fraud. What is the intent behind people doing all this? He wanted to understand the psyche of a fraudster. So what he did, he went to the jail room and interviewed more than thousands of criminals who are serving the sentence. So he used to go to jail, ask people, take their interview, understand everything about the activities, the fraud that they've done. And after that, he coined this theory called fraud triangle theory. This has got three angles. One is pressure. The first one is pressure. Second one is opportunity. And third is rationalization. And this laid the foundation for us also. Okay. Now, let us understand the perceived pressure. The gentleman who coined this theory said that any person is not a fraudster by birth. We are not born fraudsters. We are made fraudsters, meaning no human being by birth comes with the mindset of a criminal or a fraudster. It is the situation which makes the person which compels the person to commit the fraud. This is the first angle, perceived pressure. Now, what are the indicators? So, if a person is undergoing a financial pressure, maybe because he is greedy, maybe because he has addiction, like I have an addiction of gambling into IPL. This is just an example. Actually, I'm not like that. So, if I am habituated to gamble during IPL or Dreams 11 or poker or online games, or there are so many ways, casinos, right? Then at times I will run short of money. I will utilize all my salary, all savings, and I'm running out of money. I borrow from friends and now I have to repay, right? Or I have a drug addiction. I am addicted to various substances which I should not be, and I have not enough money to continuously fulfill my addictions, right? Then work related. If I'm not happy with my workplace, if my promotions are withheld, or if I and Mr. Pradeep both have joined the company together, we are both doing good job, but boss is favoring Pradeep, and because he doesn't want a break, he doesn't go on a break, and I take a lot of breaks. He comes on a weekends, he comes on Sundays, he is the first one to come to office, last one to leave. So boss is happy on him. Whereas I do the same sort of work, but I am not getting promotion or increment. So my mind starts thinking that I should take a revenge. See, some trigger has to come, no? Right? Not necessarily that you're always under the financial pressure and therefore you will commit a fraud. Sometimes it comes out of, yeah, I will tell you the name, even I don't remember, but I'll tell you the name tomorrow. Okay. It's some Cressley, Simon Cressley or something. You can do a Google search. It's a Simon Cressley. Okay, if I'm not wrong. But Donald Cressley. Yeah, Donald Cressley. Thank you. See how Google has made our life easy. I am growing old, friends, so my memory is weakening a bit. So apologies for that. So Donald Cressley is a person who coined this theory. All right. Now, sometimes what Donald found is there were fraudsters who were financially very sound, like Ramalingan Raju, Vijay Mallya, Nirav Modi. What would be the trigger for them to do fraud? Sometimes we find it difficult to even we are wondering, no? Right? But sometimes the nature of human being is such that I want to showcase my supremacy. I want to showcase my intelligence. Like I am a hacker. I know some hacking skills. So I start hacking somebody's social media, somebody's email, somebody's phone. I feel satisfied. I feel psychologically happy. Right? So some people commit the fraud without having any pressure. Right? But whatever ACFE report suggests is maximum frauds comes because of some sort of a pressure situation, either a financial pressure or a work pressure or any other mental pressure which people are going through. Now, let us continue with this example that my promotion hasn't happened. Pradeep's promotion has been done. So I'm feeling little aggrieved. I'm not happy with my boss. I'm not happy with my company. So the seed of doing something wrong has been sowed in my mind. All this while, for so many years I'm working, I was very loyal, but this time company did something wrong. Under bell curve, I was compromised. My promotion did not happen. My increment, my bonus, nothing happened the way I wanted. So now, am I going to immediately do a fraud? Just today, my promotion was withheld and Pradeep was promoted. Pradeep came to me, gave me a party. I went out, had a drink with him. And now, next day, am I going to commit the fraud? The answer is no. Today is the thought that has come to my mind that now I have to do something. Because company has done something wrong, I will also do something wrong. So I'll wait for the opportunity. Now, what is this opportunity? Opportunity is a control weakness. If there are no strong controls, there is no segregation of duties, there are weak passwords, or there is no supervision, or there are people who are like-minded like me, whose ethical values, moral values are low, I can now easily connive with them, I can join hands with them, and we can together perpetrate a fraud, right? So if the controls having weak ecosystem of controls, then the people who are aggrieved can take the opportunity and then commit the fraud. Okay. Now coming to the third aspect, which is rationalization. Now say, I requested, I give you one example. I'm working in the company for 20 years. Now my daughter's marriage is due. And I applied for a loan. I went to HR. I said, give me a loan of 30 lakh rupees. I'm working since 20 years. 30 lakh rupees is what I requested. My boss said, okay, I'll put your requirement to the HR and to my boss. Let them follow the process and give you whatever you deserve. So the company got back to me and said, we can only give you 12 lakh rupees. I said, sir, whole of my working career I spent with you. I have no other resources. I have no saving. I have very limited savings. I don't know people. At the most, 3-4 lakh is what I can arrange. But you have to give me about 25 lakh rupees at the most. Company says, no, your designation, your salary, your pay scale, as per our policy, you only qualify for 12 lakh. I went to my boss. I said, boss, I'm being working under you. I need your favor. Do something. Give me 25 lakhs at least. He said, sorry, I cannot help you. Now I'm pissed off with my boss, with the policies of company, and I feel tortured. I feel cheated. Now I got an opportunity. How? I figured out that we have got a lot of godowns, a lot of warehouses, inventory is lying, nobody is checking. I joined hands with the security guard. I said, we will steal slowly and gradually. We'll start, selling these products. Someday I took some large value assets, some cash, some inventory. I started stealing slowly and gradually. Now, one day I got caught. Now, what am I going to say? The day I am got caught, what will be my defense? What do you think I would say? No other choice left. That's correct. My daughter's marriage was there. I needed money somehow. You did not give me. I requested it. I plead for it. I went all over. I asked HR. I asked my line manager. Nobody helped me. So where am I supposed to go? Right? Yes, Sumit Jain. Very nice. I took whatever I deserved. Right? We always have that feeling that I'm underpaid, I am not treated properly. I put 20 years of my life. What company gave me such a small amount for company? Where will I go? So I start creating some justification for the wrongful act that I've done. Then when my boss says, "Arey, aapse to ye ummeed nahi tha, never expected that you will do," then I'll say, "No, I was supposed to give it back. Let my daughters happen slowly and gradually. I would have repaid it, right?" Or it may so happen that I might have stolen some money. My daughter's marriage happened. I started back with a routine. Slowly and gradually, I started putting money back. One day I was putting money back and I got caught. And then they alleged me that I'm stealing. So I said I was not stealing. I was putting it back what I stole so many months back. Is it justifiable? Will you give me an excuse for that? I am demonstrating my intent. I said if I had to steal, why would I put it back? But now I got caught when I was putting it back. No? How can you be so shrewd? You have no heart, people? I am putting it back. Nobody told me. But while putting it back, you caught me. No sympathy, no empathy. Yeah, that's correct, Chanty. If everybody does that, then everybody will keep doing it. It's very difficult to prove the intent. The fact that I've taken the money, taken the assets, taken the belongings of the company, which doesn't belong to me, it is clear that it is yeah, very nice, Anu. You are all a very good audience, and even I'm enjoying the way you are putting the chats in the box. That will keep us motivated and engaged, isn't it? Because in the remote environment, this is the only way. But yes, this is how the third aspect of rationalization comes into play. Okay, every fraudster, when get caught, they will have some justification to do. They will act as if they doesn't want to do it, but it's a situation, or it's a company, or it's the circumstances which force me to do that. I'm not criminal by birth. You look at my 20 years of history. If I have to steal, I would have stole earlier. I would have been crorepati by now. I am genuine. I am loyal. Therefore, even I don't have 30 lakh rupees for my daughter's marriage. All that have no value. The fact that I've stolen doesn't have any bearing on my 20 years of clean career. That's why at the beginning, if you recall, I said while showing that image that you may have a torn clothes, you may look like a shady person, you may not have enough money because you are loyal, you are not taking kickbacks, you are not having any criminal records, because in this domain, a clean background is also important. Intention doesn't matter now. That's correct. Yeah. So all this, three angles is what Donald came up after interviewing so many fraudsters. Now coming back to us. For us, pressure and opportunity are the only two areas we need to focus. That's it. Rationalization is not for us. It is for the organization. Many of you said, no, that we need to understand why the fraud has happened. We need to plug the controls so that it doesn't happen again. So rationalization is the learning for the organization as to when you interview the people, when the fraudster accepts the fraud or gives you the confession of committing the fraud, he will also write the rationalization. And that's where people who are in HR, people who are at the senior level will understand that, okay, are we giving them conducive environment, healthy environment, or enough support for them to refrain from getting into these activities. So as an investigator, we have only these two things to look at. So if you start your investigation, say there's a procurement fraud, okay, and you have been appointed to identify the modus operandi and the fraudsters. and the amount. So in a procurement department, including the head of procurement, there are 30 people. So I will start with doubting on everybody, including the head. But when I go into the detail, apply this particular fraud triangle, first I will find out of these 30 people, how many of them are undergoing some financial stress, because that could be a trigger for them to do a fraud, right? So from 30, by interviewing, from market intel, from networking, from peer interviews, from line managers to ex-bosses, to relatives, to wife, to daughter, to son, to parents, there are enough ways of gathering information, or even nowadays public domain, like social media. Everybody is everywhere. So you see one person in the procurement team is traveling continuously abroad. Yeah, spending extravaganza, wearing branded perfumes, luxurious watches, some nice flashy apartments in the center of the heart of the city, and the salary is only 2 lakh rupees a month, right? So obviously it's a trigger, it's a flag that should come into your mind that maybe there is a reason for this person to do something. So you may get some directives to go ahead. Okay, so that is how you have to use this tool, right? Before I proceed, any question on fraud triangle theory? Okay, excellent. Great. Now coming to the next, before we go to the next, these are some of the examples of how a person will get motivation or get caught under the pressure situation. So these are again indicative. Just go through them. Even management can also be party to fraud. We all are aware of the situation of these two countries. So they may recourse under financial pressure to some of the fraudulent activities. It's a good question. It's all about by asking the people who are surrounded by this employee, or even at times employee they themselves speak during interviewing that it's been long time we have not got promotion, or even you can go through HR records. Okay, even if you don't get maybe a kind of higher level of degree of comfort on this, but if you just go through the HR records and if you see that in a procurement team, how many people are working for long duration and what is the salary improvement over a period of time, how many have got promotion or increment, or what is the percentage of increment. If company is paying 3 to 4% of increment only to 5-6 people and rest are getting 7 to 10%, then that itself is a red flag on those 4-5 people. Maybe they have a motive that others are treated good, they are treated substandard, so let us steal, right? So you will get enough. You may not get 100% assurance, but you have to go with, poking your nose into things. So suppose if you get through those 4-5 people name, whose increment is only 3% year on year, whereas the overall procurement team people are getting 7 to 8%, then start talking to these people. Say why your promotion, your increment was only 3%. Are you happy with that? If not, then have you gone and spoken to your boss? Start interviewing like this. You will get a lot of leads from there. Then start talking to other peers. Say these 3-4 people, why are they not getting promotion or good increment? They will give you some indications that they are not very serious on their job. They come late, they go out, they are not performance based. They are just lying here, not taking any interest, or they are addicted to something. So this is how you have to kind of connect the dots. Okay. Shall I proceed to the next slide? So have you got some visibility around what could be the trigger or a motive or a pressure to think on the fraudulent lines? And that's again Donald's point that none of the human being is born fraudster. It is only these situations which compels the human to proceed with such fraudulent activities. Okay. Even management. See, as a chartered accountant, we always have an upper edge as compared to any other fraud investigator who is not from the accounting background or who is not a chartered accountant. See, we have a keen eye for financial transactions, isn't it? In one situation, we found out that, management is paying a lot of heavy penalties and they are not paying their taxes on time. They are violating the regulations. And when it so happened that there was a fraud in their company, they appointed us. And when we were going through this document, and we figured out that now they are appointing us, but they themselves are like that. Their more or less the mindset is not very positive. They are violating the regulations, they are paying the penalty, withholding the TDS, withholding the GST, not submitting it to the government, utilizing that funds. Lot of unaccounted transactions are there which are lying in the suspense. In the board meeting, none of the discussion is around the controls, the policies, the compliances. So that itself became the red flag on the management, right? So you will get to know a lot of facts. You have to keep connecting the dots. That's why I always say that keep the horizons broad. Do not restrict or limit yourself only to the books of accounts or the transactions that you gather. Okay. All right, let's proceed. Again, some few more examples on opportunities. Okay, which are the control weaknesses which will be which will be exploited by the fraudsters? These are all vulnerabilities lying in an organization. These are all opportunities for creating the fraud. So here, management is not investing sufficiently in the fraud investigation team. Like I once visited a very large bank and I found out that their fraud investigation team size was not commensurate with the infrastructure of the bank. Their internal audit team was too small to cover even the most critical areas once in 2 years. Which means what? Management only wants corporate governance on the piece of paper. They really are not intended to do it in spirit. If that being the case, their team should be commensurate, no? Even the team which is in place cannot complete the critical areas of the businesses once in 2 years. So imagine the tone is so weak, right? They are not imparting training. They are not educating people that how bad it is to do fraud, right? See, friends, once you are caught of fraud, then your career is ruined, no? No other employer is going to hire you. You're zapped in your career. So if you keep training the people, they will be demotivated to do the fraud. Okay? So if you see that all these activities are not happening, they are not deploying or investing enough money on tools, techniques, and methods. There are no automated systems, no softwares or hardwares. It is all driven manually. So where things are manual, the opportunities are more. If things are driven by the system, automation, then the controls are more stronger, because you can't give, you can't have a connivance. No, you cannot say, "Ke chalo," you cannot bribe the machine, right? You cannot corrupt the machine. Only thing is you can hack the machine, but that's where the vulnerability lies, in the algorithm or the technology. But machine per se is not like human, right? We have a inherent greediness. One can exploit that greediness. Say, um, Hitesh Garg is a very loyal guy. He's been, practicing since many years. He has absolutely nothing, even not even thinking in these grounds. But I know that he's ambitious. He wants to grow. He wants to grow in the right way. One day I met him. I said, "Hitesh, there's a big setup coming up in, Internet City in Gujarat. Let's go. There are a lot of opportunities. We can develop a separate vertical over there. We'll practice, we'll do so and so." We went there, and he saw, I gave him a very gloomy picture, right? And I sought some meetings with some senior government officials who are setting up the free trade zones and whatnot. I said, "Hitesh, it's a good opportunity. Let's go ahead." Now, until while he got the picture of, the growth, the ambition getting fulfilled, so far he has no intentions. But now I said, okay, if you want the licenses, if you want to set up your office, you need to bribe this officer, you need to give this money to them. But now I have already corrupted his mind. I have given him a gloomy picture. Now he's willing to do. Right? So the point I'm trying to drive here is that, uh, it is situation which makes the person to succumb to the circumstances and then do the wrongful things. Okay, so that's an opportunity. So now, once Hitesh engages into all these activities, he is now succumbed to this situation. Now I can ask some more favor from Hitesh, because now I know what he is doing. So far, he was not cooperative to me, but now that we have done something together, now if I ask him to support me in some other things which are illegal, he won't tell me no. Right? Why? Because already his other acts are exposed to me. So that is how people fall in trap. And one after the other, they can't come out of the loop. Okay. Now this is rationalization. We had a long discussion on that. So just quickly read through the slides. Just now the example I gave you is this. There are certain industries where bribery is very common. I once went to Ukraine long back. It was one of my clients' audit of one of their offices in Ukraine. You know what? When I went there, we all hail from Asian countries where the banking infrastructure is very strong. When I went to Ukraine, I found that most of their expenses were carried out by using cash. In fact, the office rent was also paid in cash. None of the transactions, or only handful of the transactions, were routed through bank. Even the employees' salaries were paid in cash. Now, coming in from the Asian country, I started making all these points, and I thought these are all red flags. Something is cooking. But when I spent more time, I understood some of the logistics and the environment, the way in which that country operates. I figured out that banking is discouraged over there. To deposit the check in your account, bank is charging you heavy money. To deposit cash, bank is charging you. To withdraw cash from the bank, bank is charging you. So there people are discouraged to do banking. And in that situation, it is formally known to everybody, including the management, that this is a common practice when it comes to Ukraine. So there was an exceptional approval given. There are additional compensating control to play, implemented to ensure that all this payments made in cash are reviewed and supported by proper evidences. See, even the grocery that the office was hosting about 380 people. So their food, tea, coffee, milk, other consumables, toiletries, tissue papers, and whatnot, it was bought by paying cash. Hitesh is saying, sir, this is part of our profession. What is that, Hitesh? Can you elaborate? So when I went there as an auditor, I had to strike off all these points because there were no red flags. It is a genuine thing in that country, right? So sometimes, no. It is not a favor in our profession. Okay, give and take favor is not appreciated in our profession. Okay, I have just given you an example that some companies will tell you that giving Diwali gift is a norm in our business because to seek clearances, to get the licenses, we have to pay them. But that's not acceptable. That's a rationalization that they give. But the example that I gave you of my client, it was not in this context. It was a genuine situation. But some companies will say दिवाली में महंगा गिफ्ट देना नहीं है ऑफिसर को तो क्लियर नहीं करेगा वो लाइसेंस नहीं देगा but that is not acceptable. Okay. In one of the situation we noticed, and it just came out of interviewing. Yes, absolutely. And this is what I'm about to explain. So, in one situation, what happened was that we found that there was this particular company where lot of orders were going, and there were unusually high number of orders placed. And we could not find out anything around kickbacks or bribery or something. The same thing which I discussed little while back, that CFO has suggested the name of the vendor and said you buy. Here also the same thing, but we had no idea. There was no suggestion, no recommendation. It's just that the company was placing unusually high number of orders to this particular vendor. And then during the discussion, it came to our light that the vendor's wife is running an NGO. Sorry, not the vendor's wife, the management of the company, the board member or some senior managing director or somebody, his wife is in some philanthropic or some social activities and very aggressive. She's running a lot of trusts, lot of social events, helping poor, needy people. And so it just, clicked on us that maybe it could be kind of prudent for us to deep dive and see if something fishy is cooking over there. So we started kind of, inquiring further, and the managing director said, yes, my wife is into this, and she's running into a lot of trusts and all that, and we get a lot of funding from the investors and the community and all that. So I'll not go into further detail for the want of time, But eventually, after so much of digging out, we found out that the vendor whom they were giving so many such order was giving the donation to this trust. Now, on the face of it, it looks like a genuine transaction, but it was a kickback in the form of giving donation to this wife's charitable organization. Now, frankly, detecting all this requires a lot of time, effort, energy, a lot of market intel, but this is how also people are doing. They will not seek the favor straight away, but via routes. Or it should be, if I give you more order, you give some more order or some other work to this particular consultant, right? So it could be in any way. Now we are going to our next theory, which is personally favorite to me. And I take a lot of advantage of this theory in my real life. And it has really helped me a lot. It is an improvised version of fraud triangle. Okay. Whatever you saw in fraud triangle, all three angles are here: pressure, opportunity, and rationalization. What they've added is capability. This is a very, very effective angle. Okay. And it helps us to literally nail down to a very close list of suspects. How it works? So this three angle remains the same, the way we discussed. We are least bothered about this. We are only interested in this two. Now let us understand it in more detail. What this theory says that, okay, let's say an individual is undergoing a financial pressure or company has not treated him well. Company also has a weak internal control, leaving the opportunity to perpetrate a fraud. But now, does this two angle enough to say that a person would have committed the fraud? The answer is no. That's where the fraud diamond theory comes into play. He says, or this theory says rather, that if you come across an employee or a management which is under a pressure and organization is offering a lot of opportunities to commit the fraud by way of weak control system, then evaluate those suspected list of people on capability angle. What is capability angle? These 6 points. Let us understand one by one. First one is having the right organizational position or function to take advantage of the fraud opportunities. Now I am a inventory manager. I am into the procurement team and I am taking care of inventory lying into multiple godowns spread across the entire country. I am based out of Mumbai. My company has 50 godowns and every godown is full of inventory. Now I am not happy with the company. Company has not promoted me and I get an opportunity. Because of my position, organizational position, I am a manager of the inventory. Can I influence any local godown manager who is at a very junior level or a security who is managing the security of the godown? Can I not force them to do a favor to me and siphon some inventory? Can I not take that position of my power and influence them? What do you think? So if you come across a person like this who is under pressure and opportunity, then take that first condition. Can he also, as far as his job role is concerned, able to do it? Right? Now, let me tweak this situation. Now, I am sitting at Mumbai office. I have only access to the inventory data residing in my SAP system or Tally system. I have no physical access to any of the warehouse. I have no idea about who is handling the inventory at a particular godown, who is the security guard. Although I am a manager, but my role is restricted only to managing the reports and the records of the inventory, and to reconcile the physical inventory with the records once in a month. These godown in charge and the security has no role to play. They don't even coordinate with me. Now the first point is valid in my case or no? So the answer is no. So once you have a suspect, you have to dig out like this. Understand the SOP, understand the segregation of duties, understand maker checker, understand the coordination of two different people, and figure out whether sitting in Mumbai, can I steal inventory over there? Okay. Now, second, having the appropriate expertise to take advantage of the opportunities. Now, even if the opportunity exists, am I capable enough? Am I intelligent enough to take advantage of it? Right? I am a security guard, right? My godown is locked by a 4-digit PIN. There is a device outside the main gate. Unless I put 4-digit PIN, the gate won't open. And I, being the security, I never have to go inside, so I do not know the PIN. Now, even if I want money, if the opportunity is there, am I able to unlock the door? There is no CCTV camera, there is nobody around me. I can literally go inside and steal. But do I have the expertise to unlock the lock? So again, I may not be capable, right? I have an access to books of accounts. I have access to P&L, balance sheet, cash flow, fund flow. I know the profitability margin. Can I send this data to the competitor? Can I send this data outside my company's network using email or pen drive or deploying some malware and through that routing the data outside? I don't have. I'm just an accountant. I'm not a technology expert. So if you do not have that sort of an expertise, then you are less suspect in my case. But if I come to know that yes, you are an accountant, but at the same time, you know the technology, you have done some courses, you have undergone the training, and in your social media post or somewhere you have noted about your achievement, then you may have an expertise, right? Third, very, very important, this is a softer aspect. Nowhere it will be found on the books of papers, documents, traceable evidences. It is a softer aspect which you will be able to come across only by interviewing people in market intel. Okay, having the confidence or ego to take advantage of the fraud opportunities. Now, Pradeep and I, as I said, we passed our CA exam together. We studied together. In the hostel, we were sharing the mess together. We were sharing the room. So we are very best friends. He joined the company. I then was recommended by him. I joined the company. We work under the same boss. We are all doing the same thing. It's just that he got promoted and I haven't. Right? Now, until the promotion took place, we were at the same grade. So we were sharing the cafeteria. He was sitting just beside me. Now he became assistant vice president. Suddenly a next level, and I am at the senior manager. So now for the assistant vice president, the cafeteria is different. He has shifted from a desk to a cabin. He has been given a company provided car and a driver. Suddenly his status in the organization has changed. Now, anyways, I'm aggrieved. Looking at all this, I'm now feeling very insulted. Every day he used to sit with me. We used to go out for lunch in the cafeteria. Now he's sitting in a plush cabin, having a driver. All that is annoying to me, right? Now, other people started coming and telling to me, Amish, this is not fair to you. You have been treated substandard. You should take revenge. You should do something. Now, I am under the pressure. I know the loopholes in the organization. I know the weaknesses. I have the right set of position. Being a senior manager, I can go into Tally backhand. I can manipulate transaction. I can remove the logs. I have expertise also to do. But whether I will be doing it or not depends largely on my nature. See, friends, if I tell you to do something wrong, you will not do it straight away. You will think about how people will see us. What if I get caught? What my parents think about me? What my wife and kids will think about me? What my neighbors will think about me? What my ecosystem and society will think about me? It is not easy to do fraud. People before doing frauds think a lot about this, right? So I have two options. I may continue with that. I say it's okay. Maybe next year I'll get promotion, or it's okay. I may look for a job elsewhere, which means I don't have a confidence or ego that I will be able to pull out a fraud. Although company has done wrong to me, I might be unhappy. I might have thought about it, but when it comes to doing, I can't do. And 90% of people fail over here. So when you are thinking about a suspect, when you are interviewing with the people may say, हाँ uska to nature ही ऐसा है. He sometimes he just tell like this. He can lie like, he doesn't have to take training. He is a very smooth liar. He says something, he does something, right? People don't believe in him. He has a history of doing all this. That means he is confident, or he's egoistic. He can go to any extent to take the advantage, or take the revenge. But 90% of the people can't do. Even if I insult you, you will insult me back, but you will not hurt me, you will not murder me, because we can't go to that extreme, right? So this is a very important aspect, and that's why HR team performs a very rigorous background check, due diligences of the past employment or your employment history, criminal proceedings checks, PEP checks, blacklisted checks, all that they perform before engaging you, right? So this is another aspect which you need to evaluate. Then this is very important, being able to coerce others to participate in the fraudulent activity. Most of the frauds happens by a group of people. Single individual rarely can commit the fraud. And if at all single employee is trying to commit the fraud, by virtue of his organizational position, by virtue of his abilities, he will be able to steal only small things. He cannot go and make a big fraud. Okay. So you take out any of the cases, any of the past cases, it will be a group of people. Look at Ramalingan Raju, 150 people team, only hired to create parallel set of books, forged books, right? He had team of CFO, he had bankers. Nirav Modi case, there are officials from the bank. Vijay Mallya, same thing. Even the Videocon case, Chanda Kochar, same thing. It was not single individual. It's a cartel of people. It's a group of people who together do. Now, who influences them to do the fraud? The one who is an expert in having the fraudulent mindset has the ability of a leader. He can easily influence you. He can actually hit you when you are morally down. Say, for example, in the previous case. Now, one employee knows that Amish has not got the promotion, Pradeep has got the promotion, so Amish's morale is going down. He will meet me when I'm completely low. He says, it's okay, Amish. ठीक है, we will take revenge. I say, no, it is not good. I don't want to do anything. Then he will provoke me. He will create that urge within me that no, you must do this. Company has done wrong. You have all the right to do. So the person who have that kind of an ability falls under this. Imagine Ramalingan Raju, how much influential he was. He found 150 people to do fraud. Similarly, terrorism. terrorism, the leaders are training people to kill others and convince them that killing others is a good thing to do. So to convince others to do fraudulent activity requires a lot of, ability, and most of the fraudsters have this. Okay, so during interviewing, if you come across people who are talking something like this about the potential suspect, then take them into priority list of your investigation. Then comes the fifth one, very interesting. Being able to deal with the stress associated with committing the fraud. See, in point number 3, I told you that before I commit fraud, I will think 100 times. What will happen to my parents? How will they, survive in the society? My wife, my kids. But these people are shameless. Look at Ramalingan Raju. When he was being interviewed after the fraud, just a year back, the company was awarded Best Corporate Governance Award. He was awarded Best Management Award. And the next year, a biggest financial fraud in the Indian history got unearthed. So when he was caught, he was interviewed by the reporters. He had no shame on his face. He said that I am proud of what I did. Dare you do this? You can't even think of such a intelligent fraud. So he was feeling proud about his intelligence. Look at Vijay Mallya. Shamelessly is, attending the events in London, sponsoring the events, publicly available on many events, hosting events. He has no shame. He doesn't care what people think about him. It requires a courage. Yeah. So even after you commit, if you have that sort of a mindset, yeah, absolutely, Pradeep. That's why I gave you a guru mantra that if you want to succeed in this domain, trust nobody other than God, right? And the last one is a self-explanatory. All good fraudsters are a good liars. Okay, they will empathize. They will, kind of create a situation of empathy, sympathy, and you will fall prey. Tomorrow we will do a hands-on activity, a case law, where all these concepts you will be able to connect. And the case law that we are going to discuss is a live case. All the characters and everything is real. So there, all these concepts you will be able to put into practice. Okay. So tomorrow is your test as to whether whatever I've said, how much you have understood. And even my test, whether how good I was in, making you understand all these concepts. So far we have covered 2 theories. Any questions, friends? Absolutely, Pradeep. They have a good ability to coerce others, to influence others, to fall in prey with them. So therefore, अभी तो ऐसा ट्रेंड है कि अपना डार्क सीक्रेट्स किसी को मत बताओ. Do not reveal your softer side to anybody, because then you become the victim. Right. You don't know who the fraudster is. They are always looking out for an opportunity. The moment you open up and share your weaknesses or your pressure points, they will easily make you part of their group, and you will never know when you got into trap. Yeah. So we have to be very careful. Never reveal your weakness to anybody, especially in the corporate world. All right, then the third one is fraud pentagon. Again, as I said, the best one is our diamond. But then, once things started, people keep coming up with different theories. So this one is also there. It has got all the 4 angles of fraud diamond. The names have been changed. Like here, the capability has become competence, right? So which new angle has been added? Arrogance. So this fraud pentagon theory only focuses on the senior management fraud, because most of the arrogance comes from the position of power, and you always want to abuse that position, right? So this theory talks about arrogance as an attitude of superiority over the rights owned, and feel that the company's internal control or policy doesn't apply to them, right? So the policy is not for me because I am a CFO of the company, because I am CEO of the company. Today, I want a new laptop. Why? Because my old laptop is not something I like. I want a new model because I'm a CEO of the company, right? I want access to internet. I want access to any of the facility of the company where only handful of the people are having access. But because I am sufficiently senior, I want that. I gain that. I abuse my power. All that is arrogance. Like when my car enters, security guard has to frisk my car, check my car. I have to undergo metal detection, but all that won't apply to me because I am the CEO. Yeah. So when somebody is frisking to me, I don't like it. So instead of watchman frisking my bag, he's saluting me. Every time I come, I tell him, salute me. Why? Because I'm a CEO. And I take advantage of my position. I steal information because I know that watchman is not going to frisk me. Instead, he's going to salute me. So people who are arrogant, they take lot of benefit of their power, right? So that is what this fraud pentagon theory focuses on. Okay. Other than that, this is as good as the diamond theory. I'll come to fraud scale in a bit. Let me cover these two more. Then comes the fraud circle theory. Fraud circle is a very basic, I don't know what this theory is trying to say and why it has come. It says that fraud is everywhere. When there'll be money, there'll be fraud. That is the essence of this theory. So it has nothing to add value to what we discussed. It just says that where the money is, the probability of fraud being perpetrated is very high. Okay. And the last one in our list is Hollinger-Clark theory. Okay. So it says 1/3 of the employee actually steals money or merchandise on the job, which is very true. Okay. It also says that most common reasons employee commit the fraud has little to do with opportunity, but more with motivation. Now, this is an interesting point. I am coming to this now. All this while, if you notice here, first, the theory says that you have to have a pressure. Then, if you get an opportunity, then only you can do fraud, which means this is a prerequisite, isn't it? Then came this theory. It also says the same, that you need to have a pressure, then opportunity, and then if you qualify on the capability, you will do the fraud, which means this is a precursor, right? Same way, here also the same thing, but this theory has a different point, and which to a certain extent I agree. It says the most common reason to commit the fraud has nothing to do with opportunity. Whether opportunity is there or not, you will still do a fraud. Why? Because if you have decided to do fraud, you will create an opportunity. Like, for example, that security guard standing outside the godown, if he decides to steal, will he not find somebody who can break the lock? Will he not have a connivance with somebody who knows the 4-digit PIN? He will do anything, right? So this theory is also correct in terms of disputing the first two theories, saying that you don't need opportunity. Opportunity can be created also. If I don't know how to send my balance sheet, P&L, financial confidential data outside, because I have no access to the servers or the pen drive or my ports, I can start making friendship with somebody in IT. Over a period of time, I can develop a good friendship, join hands, and do the fraud. This is how the fraud takes place. Okay. Yes, very nicely worded. When there is no way, create your own way. When there's a will, there's a way. That's correct. So that is what this particular theory is suggesting. Okay. Now, this is very, very common. And many a times we do it without realizing that what we have done is wrong. See, many companies, no, they come up with their merchandise like cap, t-shirt, pen, or some stationery. What do? These stationery or coffee mug or maybe some calendar or some merchandise is to be used, it has to be kept on your desk. But what do, you carry at home, right? Like there's a marketing campaign going on, a lot of t-shirts have been printed for the event. So the marketing head or procurement head or the event manager takes some 5 7 t-shirts home, some 10 12 caps home. I am working in an organization. I am also pursuing my MBA course. So after office hours, I sit in the office. I use the internet of the office. I use the electricity of the office. I take printouts, 500-page printouts for my project reading, right? And then I claim even the taxi bill because I'm leaving late from the office. So that all falls under here. We knowingly, unknowingly use our company's resources. Company has given me pen and paper. I carry at home. My daughter is using that. Children, that's correct. We have seen this. Like my wife is calling me, hey, look, there's a project given to the daughter. While coming, can you take the printouts? So I easily go, take 10 pages printouts, right? All this is fraud. But what is our rationalization? अरे 10 पेज में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? But if 500 employees are taking 10 pages printout every day, what will happen? It's a big fraud. But our mind doesn't click there. Have you ever gone to any airport lounges? Right? There, if you observe, this behavior is very much visible. At the airport lounge, you sit there and it's written that whatever food and water and all we are serving you is for consumption over here. Do not take it outside. Now, what people do? They feel that since we are eligible to sit in the lounge, we take away. 4-5 बॉटल लेके जाएंगे, कैन लेके जाएंगे, कुछ खाने का केक पेस्ट्रीज लेके जाएंगे. You may not require that much water, but just because it is available on the shelf in the refrigerator, nobody is monitoring. It's just a board which says that only for consumption here, you don't care, and we take away. Are we going to consume that much water? The answer is no. Do we need this much? No. आधे घंटे में we are going to board the flight. But still, because it is available, we take it. And you observe this in the launch. People are doing it. Pradeep Kumarji, you are very unique, but I'm just generally saying. I'm just giving you example. I'm not saying people with a deliberate intent do, but this is how people are. This is how our mind works. When there's no control and we think a launch ka access mila hai, so we are entitled for it. Whereas your entitlement is only to consume it there and there. Yeah. Many launches, they open the can and they give you. Like if you ask for a soft drink, they open it and give you so that you do not carry. Right? But where it is there on the refrigerator, nobody is looking. You may carry 4-5. So that is what Hollinger-Klug theory says, that many employees, without realizing, they keep using it for personal purpose. Right? This is again a highlight of this theory. The more dissatisfied the employee, the more likely they engage in the criminal behavior, right? And this is described as employees taking wages in kind. This is a rationalization. Everyone had a sense of their own worth. If they believe that they are not being fairly treated or adequately compensated, the organization is much higher risk of employee-related frauds. So this indicates a high possibility of fraud in an organization where the culture is not conducive. That's very nicely said, Anupji. Very, very right. Always choose the harder right over the easier wrong. But when others are doing, it is very difficult to control. I'll just give you a simple example we all do. We are all stressed with the traffic. Lot of construction going on across the cities, right? Now, every day we struggle. Now, I know that at a particular signal, there is no RTO. And there's a red light, which I always consider as a green light. We all might have done at some point in time. Are we fraudsters? Have we done something wrong? What do you think? Yes, Vikasji, that is part of fraud because your time, the salary the company is paying you is for the office time 10 to 6. If you are doing your personal work during the office hours, it's a fraud because you have given your time commitment against the payment to the company. So anything personal that you are doing is a fraud. It's a malified intent. Although, then you can do a rationalization and all that is fine. But the intent is wrong, although you may not agree. That precisely is the example that I'm giving right away. Every day you follow the signal. Today you are running late for a meeting. You know that there is no RTO ahead because every day you are commuting and you cross the signal. And that very day RTO catch hold of you. What will you do? What will be your first argument? Your argument is, sir, so many months I am going. I've never even crossed once. Today I'm running late. I have to reach airport. I have to reach meeting, blah, blah, blah. Please allow me an excuse. Now, if RTO is allowing, he is also not doing his job. So for him, he doesn't matter what is your past. What matters is today you broke the rules. Now, another situation. You are standing in the signal, there's a red light, there's a car honking behind you and saying, please move. You continue to ignore. He went besides you, staring at you, he went. Then after that, one more car went. Then rickshaw went. Then cycle wala went. Then a pedestrian went. Everybody is smiling at you, laughing at you in sarcasm. Right? So cheating is a fraud, isn't it? Cheating is what? Section 420, fraud. Anything with the intent to defraud is fraud. You have been committing something and you are doing something else is cheating, isn't it? Now, that's why I am giving you all these examples. Now, everybody went. Now you decided to go. Have you done something right or wrong? You crossed the signal eventually because everybody ended up crossing. It's wrong because you have violated. That is what you need to learn. See, the real life is different. This domain is different. You cannot be judgmental. You have to go by fact. आपको इंसान कितना भी अच्छा लगता है, you know that he is a man of God. But if the facts are saying against him, you have to conclude against him. That is your job. You have to be neutral. You have to be as straightforward as you can. If you go haywire, if you bring in softer aspects, then you cannot become a good investigator. That is what RTO has done. What RTO said, I don't care whether you followed the rules all this while. It is not you did the favor. It is your responsibility to follow. If you want to hold a valid license, if you want to drive in Indian roads, you have to follow all ways. Yeah, there is no exception. That चलो साल में एक बार आज signal follow मत करो चलेगा. No, there is no zero tolerance, right? So it doesn't matter what you did in the past. Today, what you did, and I have reason to caught you, you have caught under camera, and I have enough reasons to prove you fraudster. So you pay penalties, right? अब सब लोग गया और हम भी गया doesn't mean that if 10,000 people are doing fraud, we can also do and say कि if सबने किया तो हम भी करेंगे. No, right? Absolutely. So follow this in spirit when you are doing investigation, right? Last thing, you are standing in a signal. Everybody is following. Everybody is going. You also went. RTO caught hold of you. While he was catching hold of you, other two vehicles also went. People who crossed ahead of you, they also went. Now, you are arguing with the RTO कि बाकी सबको भी पकड़ो, catch hold of others. Why only me? So only when you catch hold of others, I will accept. Is that answer justifiable? Is your rationalization justifiable? Again, the answer is no, right? So in all the discussion that I did, although I gave you a very relatable common man example, but the concepts will come from here only, right? In all these examples, the person who disobeyed, the person who crossed the signal is liable to fine. Nothing else matters. Same apply in your forensics practice. Even one single transaction is done wrongfully. If the intent is established that it was malified, it is a fraud. Then whether it's a small amount 65 paise or a big amount 65 crore or a very large amount 65,000 crores doesn't matter. What matters is the intent. The moment you cross the red light, your intent was clear to disobey. The moment you passed one false entry, your intent was to falsify. The moment you gave wrong information, your intent was to give false information. That's it. Whether what you did in the past doesn't matter. Okay. So this is what Hollinger-Clark theory says. Okay. Now we come to fraud scale. Fraud scale is basically for us before we start the engagement. This theory you can apply after your engagement is done, but before you start your engagement, meaning it's a pre-investigation stage, right? Now, what fraud scale says that during your pre-investigation stage, if you come across a situation where during your initial process walkthrough, introduction with the people, understanding the SOPs, etc., or looking at last year's reports or something, if you come across a scenario where you see that this organization is generating a lot of stress, people are sitting long hours, always under pressure to reach the targets or reach the goals. Management is very aggressive, making bold statements in media, their valuation is rising very fast. That means everybody is under pressure. And the weakness lies in the control. If these two positions are there, coupled with, now this is the new area that has come up. High pressure is the part of fraud triangle, diamond, pentagon. Opportunity was also the one of the angle of triangle, diamond and pentagon. This is the new angle which has been added in the fraud scale. What it says that if employees are under high pressure, if the control scenario is weak and the people having low personal integrity, then the chances of fraud risk is very high. The chances that people will commit the fraud is very high. Because of high pressure, I'm always under stress. Controls are weak. One day I found that cash box is open and I have the opportunity to steal 20,000 rupees. I see controls are weak because there is no security camera, there is no record keeping by the cashier. Cashier counts the cash once in a week. There is no reconciliation, there is no maker checker. So let me steal. Why I can steal? Because my personal integrity is also low. I come from a background where I don't mind stealing. For me, stealing is nothing. It's BAU. I don't care what people think. I don't care what society think. I will steal because my integrity value is low. So if you have so many such people in that organization, the fraud risk can be as high as 10 to 15%, whereas the average is what 5% that we saw in the beginning. Whereas if the organization has a good culture, they are keeping employees happy, providing conducive work environment, controls are strong, and the people who they appoint are of high integrity value, then the possibility of fraud happening is very low. The fraud risk percentage may be as low as less than 1% of the total revenue. So this is what the assessment we have to do before we start engagement. So this gives us some sort of an understanding that during the investigation, will we get enough evidences or not? Are there any possibilities of fraud or not? So if a Tata Group has taken a loan from the bank and submitting the working capital statements, then as per the fraud scale, possibility of Tata Group tampering and giving falsified records or positions is low. Whereas if the same goes with Videocon, same goes with Nirav Modi, same goes with Vijay Mallya, same goes with Satyam Company, the possibility of they submitting wrongful information is very high because all this happens there. Something like that. Okay. So now I am taking 2-minute pause. I see 2 people raising the hands. So let me allow them to speak. Piyush ji, please speak. Birbhan ji, please speak because you have also raised your hand.
Sir, I actually wanted to know, as you have given many more examples of traffic rule and something like printing documents, etc. Are they will be known as fraud or something as maybe small type of activities?
But क्या बोलोगे आप उसको? See, generally in an organization, you get a warning letter for not doing all this because
Although they are illegal, I think we can say there are no legal activities or not. मतलब genuinely ठीक नहीं है लेकिन क्या fraud कहेंगे क्या उसको?
See, since this is happening across the world, people take it for granted. But are we supposed to do this? आपके घर पे नेबर आता है,
मैं तो खुद ही कह रहा हूँ ठीक है वो।
सर आपके घर पे नेबर आता है 500 पेज का
I'm
प्रिंट आउट
saying
लेके
that
चला जाता है।
नहीं 500 पेज का तो एक अलग बात होगी, जैसे कोई 5 पेज प्रिंट आउट ले लिए या कोई छोटी छोटी जैसे आपने कहा रेड लाइट जंप कर ली, all these activity although they are not legal नहीं है, लेकिन मैं कह रहा हूँ क्या वो फ्रॉड में आएंगी क्या? लीगल तो नहीं है, ठीक है लीगल
तो
नहीं है,
सर यही तो इंटेंट
ethically
आपको प्रूव करना है। मैंने शुरू में क्या बताया? योर जॉब इज टू फाइंड फैक्ट्स फ्रॉम द फेक, और सॉरी फेक फ्रॉम द फैक्ट्स। ठीक है, तो अब ये एम्प्लॉय को प्रूव करने दो कि ये फ्रॉड है कि नहीं है। आप तो उस पर एलिगेशन लगाओगे ना। एज एन इन्वेस्टिगेटर यू हैव अ राइट टू डाउट। Let employee convince you, give you enough evidences to prove his innocence. Why are we assuming? Our job is to doubt, and you have got an instance to doubt. Then let people prove their innocence. That is the approach you have to take. On your own, why are we assuming this? That it is a small activity, maybe a consideration should be given. That is management to decide. You have been appointed to find out the fraud. Maybe if one is stealing, same way other is doing, third is doing, 5,000 people, 30 branches, everywhere something of this sort is happening. then shall we consider this as a fraud or not? हर दिन 2-5 पेजेस का प्रिंट आउट हो रहा है, हर दिन लोग पेन लेके जा रहे हैं, नोटपैड लेके जा रहे हैं, कोई ऑफिस का मर्चेंडाइज लेके जा रहा है. This is meant for official use. You are using it for personal purposes. Then is it a fraud or not? Let them convince you. Intent will come from them only. You can record their statement, you can take their written submission and then present it to the management, the fact. Hope you are appreciating. Yes, Ragvi, you are absolutely right. We have not even gone to the extent of what they are printing. We are even challenging that if they are printing something for their personal consumption, right? That's why you are right, Lakshmi. There is no materiality in fraud investigation. Therefore, I told you I am giving you examples which are very simple and small, just to prove the point that it doesn't matter, right? Everybody is doing doesn't mean that wrongful things have become rightful. And as an investigator, you have to be neutral. You have to go by the fact and leave everything for the management or the regulator to decide. Are we a judge? No. Are we a court? No. Our job is that we got this fact and this is our allegation. We are only alleging in our report. We are only putting the facts. The decision lies on the people who have appointed us. No, we never see humanity grounds. Tomorrow when we'll do the case study, the same point will come. Can we on a humanity ground give pardon to this or give some excuses? That's not our job. Our job is to find the facts, report the facts, and that is what we are doing.
Sir, can you explain sir, low personal integrity? Low personal integrity.
सर मैंने एक्सप्लेन तो किया कि कैश बॉक्स में से आपने पैसे उठा लिए बिकॉज वहां पे कोई मॉनिटरिंग नहीं हो रही है, कोई रिकंसिलिएशन नहीं है, कोई कैमरा नहीं लगे, आपने वो पैसे ले लिए. क्यों? क्योंकि कोई कंट्रोल नहीं है और आपकी इंटेग्रिटी वैल्यू ही लो है, आपको कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता. पकड़े जाओगे तो बोल दोगे हाँ ठीक है मैंने ले लिया. तो ऐसे ही लोग तो चोरी ज्यादा करेंगे, राइट? आप देखो बैंक में कैशियर, ब्रांच मैनेजर के रोटेशन क्यों होते हैं? बिकॉज दीज आर द जॉब प्रोफाइल वेयर you have got good connects with the customer, you are dealing with the cash. मान लो आप एक वॉल्ट में इंचार्ज हो. एक वॉल्ट है, बैंक का करेंसी चेस्ट है, उसमें एट एनी गिवन पॉइंट इन टाइम 500 करोड़ रुपीस रहते हैं. दिन भर आप वो बंडल देखते ही रहते हो. आप उस वॉल्ट के इंचार्ज हो. आपने सोचा चलो आज 500 की एक नोट लेके जाता हूं. इतना बड़ा 500 करोड़ का पूरा ये वॉल्ट है, उसमें से एक 500 रुपया एक बंडल से निकाल लिया तो क्या फर्क पड़ेगा? कहां दिखाई देगा? तो क्या आपने सही किया? बट वो करने के लिए व्हाट इज इट दैट यू नीड? योर मोरल, योर इंटीग्रिटी इज लो, देयरफॉर यू स्टोल इट. जस्ट बिकॉज इट इज अवेलेबल डजंट मीन इट इज फॉर यू, राइट? वी टेक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड दैट इट इज फॉर अस. लॉन्च का मैंने एग्जांपल क्यों दिया? In the launch, because everything is available, we take it without realizing that it is not for us. We are not entitled to carry it out. Yes, claiming false expenses, inflating bills, fudgy bills is a moonlightning. Very nice example. A person is working in Wipro in the morning, working for Infosys in the evening, not disclosing to each other employer. It is not valid. आपके employment contract में it is written that you have to work for us. Or if at all you engage into some other activities, inform us. Take our approval. People are working for both the IT companies. So that is also fraud. How will you justify this? Right? So we have to go by the straight mind. If you keep assuming things or putting the softer aspects or human aspect, you will never be able to be a good investigator. That's why in the first session, I'm trying to clear your mind so that you can concentrate on the roadmap where you have to work on. Otherwise, you will never reach your destination, right? It is not you and I who are proving. We are stating the facts that employee is continuously taking this advantage. Now let management decide whether it has to be considered as fraud or not. You found something which was not as per the policy of the company. Your job is to report. Whether it is 5 rupees, 5 paise, 50 paise, doesn't matter, right? Let that accused come and prove his innocence, right? Shall we proceed? Are you all clear so far?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think now we have to. This is what I just discussed about a while back, that we are talking about the corporate. Yeah, time to pack up, Pradeep. Earlier you didn't want a break, now you want to leave early. All right, just last slide. I understand it's the first day and Monday of the week, so it's a busy. No problem. Just give me last 2 minutes, not more than that. Because anyways, the next slide is a very lengthy topic. We cannot even start now this. So we need a fresh mind of tomorrow. Yeah. Corporate frauds. All this while, whatever we have been discussing, even the ACF is discussing, is all around occupational fraud. So what is occupational fraud? In the corporate environment, frauds which are committed by employees of the organization are referred to as occupational or employee frauds. Right? See, this is what all our examples were. Employee misuse or abuse of his position for his own enrichment by intentional misappropriation or misuse of company asset. Now, even the stationery of the company is an asset. Even the printer of the company is an asset. Internet is also an asset. Any uh, anything that you are availing which is outside your requirement as an employee for your personal purpose, you are using their asset, right? More of that we will discuss tomorrow in the concept called fraud tree. Okay. So now it's time for us to call the day. Hope you had a very rewarding and enlightening start to this course. Don't worry about PPTs and all, we will share it. Yeah, once you start progressing, you will keep getting the material. We have deliberately not kept it or shared it earlier because then people will say, okay, material aa gaya, it's okay, we'll not attend the session. Or so just to avoid that, we will share everything at the end. Ideally, PUSG, no, because we are not alleging the fraudster. As I rightly said earlier, and many a times I repeated, if you are accusing somebody as a fraudster in your report, they can file a defamation case against you. So when we'll come to writing an audit report, you need to be very clear that you are no authority, you are not a court, you are not a government office or any department to accuse somebody. You can always state the facts. That's it. So if you stick to your domain, you will not have this risk. Okay. So this is an art of drafting the report. And it will come only by being into this domain and working more in this domain. But never ever say that this is a fraudster. You have to identify the fraudster with enough evidences, put the facts. That's it. Okay. So any other question? How is your feeling? Are you feeling comfortable in this domain after this today's discussion? We will discuss all this tomorrow. Don't worry. That's the reason I have not discussed further. Okay. Hope my today's session have added a lot of perspective to this particular domain. Very unique. You need to unlearn so many things, relearn so many things. Very challenging and even complicated at times. Yeah. So on this note, let us call the day off. Tomorrow sharp at 5, we will resume the session. And tomorrow we will do one case study also. So whatever you have learned, how to put it in practice in real life. So I'm going to create or trying to create a real life situation. Okay. So your understanding will be enhanced tomorrow. So looking forward to our session at 5. Yeah. Yeah, Birbhanji, any concluding remarks
Sir,
you want to?
yes, sir. Sir, I want to ask that how I will attend my attendance, mark my attendance.
We discussed at the morning at
Whether
the
attendance will be
start of.
automatically, but at that time I was unable to.
Okay. We will discuss about this tomorrow because we don't know that how have you logged in. So we will discuss tomorrow. Only thing is that you have to log in through the DLH. So for your attendance to be marked. So if you have logged in through
It will
DLH,
mark automatically.
yes,
It will
yes,
mark automatically. Okay.
yes. And please be in a network where I can hear you clearly because in between your voice is breaking. So for
Okay.
tomorrow's session, if you are interacting, it would be good because others can also hear your query properly. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful evening and see you tomorrow at 5.